Shadowins and I talked before the game, and when we set it up, I don't go around calling 6A teams for a football game in a regular year, but the COVID thing, and really you don't ever know with this COVID when you're not going to get to play the next week or if football got shut down. So, and not having any scrimmages or 7-on-7, I just felt like an opportunity to get on the field was better than sitting at home or standing on the fence watching somebody else play. So we took that game, and we did have a couple of guys get hurt. Lost a sophomore lineman in a non-contact injury on the knee, and Big Evan Martin suffered a concussion, so he was out the next week. But we play a tough schedule to help us get better for our region games because, Greenback and Coalfield are usually, annual top 10 teams. So we think that, playing this type of schedule makes us better, and I think it paid off tonight.
Yeah, and I saw your quote saying that, you didn't want to rob your seniors of a game their senior season. I got to ask you about this because it was brought up to us, and I think it was really important. There was some smack talk in the media. Coach Ryan had said this is not a rivalry because they haven't beaten us, and we're going to continue to beat them like we're accustomed to. And last year we beat them 88-0 in the 2 times that we played them combined. I was wondering if your kids had seen that. And then they came out with so much energy. They were pumped up, and I thought that they knew what they were playing for tonight.
Well, I printed that article off and read it to him. So, I'm not going to talk smack like that. I've got more class than that. But I did ask him, is it a rivalry now? And he kind of shook his head. Coach Ryan, though, was gracious in defeat, said good job. And I don't want to say too much because I might be playing them again. So, but just proud of our team. That's the first time Oliver Springs has beat Greenback. And, to break that 41-game region win streak is something these kids or this coaching staff will never forget.
You've been here 6 seasons. It's all running together for me because I remember covering you when you were still the middle school coach. But I tell you what, I having seen you take over this program and see where it was when you started and where it is now, Coach, this program is a complete 180 of where it was, and that's a testament to the coaching staff and the kids buying into your program and what you're teaching.
Well, I got a great coaching staff. I mean, I can't say enough about that. If you're going to have a good team, you got to have good coaches around you. Surround yourself with good people. Got a great administration here that really supports the football team. So great fans. Our fans were out tonight. They were loud. This is just a big win. I know we're 1-4, but this is still a big win for Oliver Springs High School football, something we can build on if we continue to improve. Now, if we go lay an egg in our next game, it's not going to mean as much. But I think this team will come in, work hard, and we got a bye week coming up next week, so get some bumps and bruises healed up and get ready to go to Harriman in 2 weeks. It's a region game from here on out, and I told the team after yesterday's practice that we just got to look at this like every week's a playoff game, because we definitely want to be in the playoffs and we want to compete for the region championship. So hopefully we took a step toward that tonight.
Coach, I don't want to leave anybody out because your team had such a great team effort, but you had to replace Blake Crace. You had to replace Trey Boswell. The way that, first off, Brandon Nation played on defense tonight was incredible, but then the way Gavin Hill ran the football tonight, and I thought the way Elliott just took over the offense and controlled the game all game long, I can't say enough of your guys tonight.
Well, Zach's, coming into his own as a quarterback, being the backup the last 2 years, is not the same as actually being out there and being the man on Friday night. He ran the offense well tonight, took care of the football, done a good job with clock management at the end, and I think the one pass we threw right there was a strike to Big Tyler Mance. That's a 6'3", 235-pound target there. Kind of hard to miss when you lay it out there for him. So I'm proud of all of them, proud of the whole team.
Coach, this is a big win. You played Oneida to start the season. They're still undefeated. You played William Blount, a 6A football program. Last week you played a 3A football program, Northview Academy, and had to deal with the adversity of lights going off and going into double overtime. And tonight you played and defeated last year's state runner-up. This is a huge victory for your program. Great region win, and congratulations on it.
Hey, thank you all, and thank you all for covering us. Brad, you do a great job with high school football, and I really appreciate what you all do for all the high school teams in this area. It means a lot to everybody.
Appreciate that. And so that's Coach Larry Green getting the victory tonight, and a huge victory, statement victory for this Oliver Springs Bobcat team, defending the home turf against the Greenback Cherokees, and able to back up and really come back against that smack talk. And so like I said, I wondered if Oliver Springs, the players, knew about the comments that Coach Ryan had made. Then I saw the way they were playing, and Coach Green just confirmed it. That became billboard material. He read it off to them. That is not the right thing to do.
We touched on it in pregame. That's just not what you do. You don't want to give the team that you're playing some ammunition to get fired up in an already big enough ball game that they're going to be fired up in. So I think Greenback's head football coach got a pretty good lesson right there in that regard. So pretty good learning experience.
I'll be honest with you, I think it helped the energy of the players, but I'm not so sure that without that billboard material, Oliver Springs doesn't win this ball game tonight by about the same score.
Yeah, you saw the Oliver Springs sideline, the fans, everyone had been reading that material. You could tell. So This whole community was fired up. They had the field looking amazing. Everybody in Oliver Springs was here tonight watching this. So thank you for being here tonight.
And I thought that energy might have hurt Oliver Springs early with all those early penalties, but they recovered. Come get the big victory at DJ Britton Field, 21-7 against region opponent Greenback. Oliver Springs' first victory against the Cherokees. So we're going to wrap this thing up and send it to the 5-Star Preps Friday Night Scoreboard show with Jonathan Cox and David Queener. And so you'll be able to talk to them and get scores from around the area. So for the entire BBB staff, James Gibson, Brad Jones beside me, I'm Aaron Harvey. Hope you've enjoyed this one as much as I have. So long, folks.
And OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring a full and fair settlement. Call OEB Law, 865-546-1111, and turn your wreck into a check.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
I am a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Planning. can be difficult at best.
Welcome to the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard. I'm David Quinn. Jonathan Cox will be with me in just a little while. Exciting night of high school football. Week 5 is in the book, and we're rolling right along. First of all, let's say big win tonight down in Oliver Springs over Greenback, and I listened to the last little bit there with the guys, and I didn't know that we'd had any trash talking. Doesn't really surprise me coming from Greenback, though, but I'm glad that Coach Green got a win tonight over Greenback. I know they've sort of been a thorn in the side for the last couple years, so I was glad to see Oliver Springs get a big win tonight over Greenback. I don't know if the recruiting has stopped at Greenback or what, but it's like the well has went dry all at once. They're taking a licking this year, so a lot of people probably are getting a chance to pay them back for how it's been the last couple years with them, because they've really been good. So congratulations to Oliver Springs tonight, and all the Oliver Springs fans. I hope we'll have some people call in tonight from Oliver Springs. And if you were at the ball game, tell us about the ball game, and that'll be great. So we'll move right along here. Like I said, week 5 is in the books. There's a lot of schools are postponing because of the COVID. I'm gonna harp on it again tonight, okay? I watched the game last night, and I saw a lot more people, I think, wearing face coverage, wearing masks, and some social distancing. Not a lot, but some. I guess settle for part of it anyway. So in order to keep high school football going, folks, that's what we got to do. So, it's in your hands. Halls canceled for the next 2 weeks. Whole school canceled for the next 2 weeks. They're doing at-home learning, virtual learning. So Clinton's been out for 2 weeks. The football program's been out for 2 weeks. I've not heard anything different as of today, and if somebody knows something different, should be back on the field next Friday night with Oak Ridge. We'll talk about Oak Ridge in a minute, because that's another story. So, just to hear some teams that have been struggling, like Greenville. Greenville got off to a really slow start. They whooped up on Austin East tonight. The last score I heard was like 42-0, maybe. I think that was a final. So was Anderson County's game tonight over, I don't even remember who it was, Chattanooga Herald. It's 42-0 there. There's scores up on the monitor now, and you can see those scores. Cofield rolls over Oakdale. I never thought that'd be much of a game anyway. I think they had the Oakdale coach on here Wednesday night, and he sort of thought it might be a good game. Turned out not to be. Meigs County rolls over Rockwood. Maryville just didn't really blow out Bearden tonight. That game was a little closer at first. And moved on. I think Keystone won tonight. Man, Elizabethton wins big tonight. DB wins big tonight over Hardin Valley. Like I said, Greenville beat Austin East tonight. I was trying to see if there's anything else that popped up. Powell and Clinton, that game's supposed. Powell plays Central tomorrow night. They're going to play Central tomorrow night. Like I said, Halls was out tonight, and it'll be out. From what if I understood it right tonight, they'll be out the next 2 weeks. So, it's that time. It's that this is just what it is this year, folks. This is how it's going to roll, and we're halfway. Okay, I don't know how many people thought we'd make it halfway. I'm not saying I'm not one of those, that I'm one of those people. I thought it would be tough. I'm surprised that there hadn't probably been a few more teams, but apparently people were doing a fairly good job. And I say people, I mean coaches and school administrators and, everybody that's involved, teachers, and everybody's doing a good job. So I ain't got a hat on. If I had one on, I'd tip it to you and say congratulations on a job well done. That we're doing and being able to pour. I talked to a high school coach and told me that there's so much on them, it's not even funny to what they're having to go through in order to pull this season off. And, first of all, they don't get paid a lot of money as it is. They take a lot of abuse from fans. I'm one of them. I'm a fan. They do take a lot of abuse because fans want them to win. And it's just tough times right now, period. So my hats are off to all the coaches, administrators, everybody that's pulling this off at every game. And if you're a fan, you're going in and you're doing what you're supposed to do. Thank you, thank you, thank you for what you're doing in order to keep this sport that I like so much. And I love being here on Friday nights. I love taking the phone calls. It would really be hard to be sitting at home right now on Friday night, not knowing I'm not here with Cox and we're doing Friday Night Scoreboard. We've done it for so long here at Channel 12. It would really, man, it would be a bummer. It would really be sad. But fortunately, a lot of people are working hard to keep this train rolling and keeping it on the tracks, and I appreciate all those people. Now I'll get off the rant and we'll go on and talk high school football. Last night, West rolls over Oak Ridge. I'm a little bit torn about really what to say tonight because Oak Ridge's defense played so-so last night. It was really the only thing that showed up. Oak Ridge's offense, at one point, it was like 100 and some yards to maybe 20 or something like that. Might have even been worse than that. You know, Oak Ridge the last 2 weeks has offensively not played very well. So I'm wondering deep down in my mind tonight, is Coach Gaddis and them consider maybe changing offenses or something because there's just no production. I don't know and he might know now where the breakdown's at. I don't know where they looked out of sync last night on offense. I know they had a little rain during part of it. Could that have played a part in it? Yeah, maybe, but the only score Oak Ridge got last night was off the defensive side of the football, a scoop and run for a touchdown. So bad snaps last night. I'm not telling you nothing. If you're an Oak Ridge fan, you don't already know. You watched the game, and you saw what I saw. So I just wonder when the last time maybe Oak Ridge has been 2-3 and on a 2-game losing streak like this. It's probably been a while. So even though they had their stud running back last night, I think they held him pretty much in check. He didn't have really any big runs that I saw during the game, and I don't know, Oak Ridge is really struggling offensively right now. It's probably got, Coach Gass don't have a lot of Harrys like me, but he's probably pulling out what Harry's got left right now. He's probably pulling it out. So I also wonder if playing 2 back-to-back Thursday games, maybe getting a little harder, and maybe, I'm not saying he regrets doing it, but maybe he wishes he hadn't played 2 back-to-back Thursday night games. We talked a little bit about that last week. He's tried to keep it, he said, as normal. He was going to practice he practiced this past Sunday to try to run it so it'll run just like a Monday through Thursday week for them. So we probably won't call him tonight and talk to him tonight. I'd say he's probably not in too good a mood, and he probably don't want to hear me tonight. So we'll probably not give him a call tonight and see what he's got to say. But 483-8112, I would appreciate your call tonight. And if you've been to a game, if you've been to Anderson County tonight, or if you've been to Oliver Springs tonight, or if you went to the Oak Ridge West game last night, if you were at the Rockwood game tonight, I know Kingston won. I see that Midway won tonight. If you've been to any of those games tonight and you'd like to give us a call, we'll take your call. It's 483-8112, and we'd appreciate that call because it's hard to just sit here and talk for the next couple hours if the phone doesn't ring. So ring the phone off the hook and we'll talk. There's an Oak Ridge fan. He did not call last week. I'll put the challenge out to him again tonight to see if he'll call tonight. I very seriously doubt he'll answer the bell tonight again. He failed to answer it last week, and he probably won't answer it this week neither. So we'll just rock on. I was trying to see if I seen that Campbell County score. I said Kingston won over Northview tonight. GP won tonight over Scott County. I've seen, like I said, Elizabeth, and man, they rolled big over Granger County tonight. a future opponent of probably of Anderson County somewhere down the road if that takes place. So we'll watch that. Ray County wins big tonight over on North City. Loudon, a great team during the regular season, but when you get to playoffs, Alcoa. That's all I got to say. Is Alcoa. Fulton rose big tonight over Carnes for their second win, but we'll see. We'll see what happens down the road a little bit. CAK over Silverdale tonight. Kings Academy, I believe Kings Academy won tonight. And the phones are ringing. Let's go to the lines here. Good caller, you're on the air.
Challenge accepted.
Who is this?
You lose again, Queener. Challenge accepted.
Yeah,
You're
no,
zero for one tonight.
you didn't call last week.
Too bad I didn't watch your show to call.
Well, you didn't watch. You're too embarrassed to call.
Too embarrassed of what?
Farragut beating their Wildcats last week.
Hey, ain't nothing to be embarrassed about. That was a good game with our star running back out. I was pretty happy with the outcome.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. What about the outcome last night?
Offensive line struggled. That's how it is. Sucks, but that's how it goes. Still a good game.
If you were West, it's a great game.
Nah, well, good for them. Bad for us, but that's how it goes. Offensive line is struggling a little bit.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I think the offense has been struggling for the last 2 weeks.
Well, they scored quite a few points last week, so I don't know about that.
Well, they struggled too. They've had some problems the last couple of weeks. Whether you want to admit that or not, but they have. Defense has played.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They've definitely struggled.
Defense has played fairly well the last couple of weeks, even on a losing effort. I mean, they give up quite a few against Farragut, but they did hang around. So, but last night, all Oak Ridge put on the field was a defensive team. There was no offensive team. They didn't. I don't even know what the total yards were. Like I said, at one time, I think is 120-some yards to 20.
Well, with that being said, the defense can't stay out there all night. They play well the whole.
I agree, 100%. I agree.
Yeah, they played well. It's just the defense will get tired. That's what happens when your offense can't get off. Or your offense can't stay on the field.
That's true. After you stay on the field so long, eventually you're done. And I don't know how many goes both ways for Oak Ridge. I don't know how many kids they have going both ways. So. If they have any, they might not have any, but
they've got a couple of studs that play both sides.
Let's see, no, that's the wrong team. Sorry, I was going to ask you a question about somebody's hurt, but it's another team. It's not Oak Ridge. I thought it was Oak Ridge, but it's not. It's somebody else. So anyway, took another note to chin. You got Clinton next week at Clinton.
Oh, that's a barn burner.
Yeah, it'd be a big game. Yeah, it's a barn burner.
Big, yeah. That's
Two teams right now are going in the wrong direction. One's 0-3 and one's 2-3. So, they're both going in the wrong direction. So we'll see.
Well, aside from the Powell game, which will be a tough game, I think it's a win out from here. Looking at the rest of the schedule.
A win out from here, besides the Powell game.
The Powell game is a strong maybe. So.
Strong maybe. Okay.
Where's your partner in crime?
He'll be here in a little bit. He did PA tonight at Fulton, so he'll be here in a little bit.
What's their record?
2-3.
Oh, wow.
Put up 42 points tonight.
Against?
I believe it was, if I seen that right, I think it's Carnes. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I mean, you just play who's on the schedule. I mean, I didn't make the schedule, so.
That's fair.
You just play who's. Yeah, it was Carnes. I see it up on the screen now. It was Carnes. Oh wait a minute, I said 42. It might have been 47-7. Let's see. Wait a minute. In the last 2 weeks, Oak Ridge ain't scored 47 points.
Well, I'm sure if we played Carnes too, I think it would be
no.
no.
It ain't got nothing to do with. I just said the last 2 weeks, Oak Ridge ain't put 47 points on the board combined.
I'll have to look. That Ferris game was quite a lot. I think we scored
25.
28. We scored, huh? How much?
I thought it was 25.
Oh, well, we were close. Horseshoes and hand grenades.
Well, I don't remember exactly what it was. For some reason, I'm going to say 25. I might be wrong. Maybe it's 20.
I do believe it was 28, and if we're going to count last night's ball game.
Okay, so that's 35 points total. That's 35 points total. So they still didn't score 47.
I said we were close. I said we were close.
Yeah, we're close. Yeah, real close.
We scored 44 against Park
here's
Valley.
What you need
Give us
to
a little
do.
Credit.
Just keep on crying in your milk, and maybe one of these days you'll wake up.
Oh, we'll soak it all in those dragon tears next week when we beat them.
There don't be no dragon tears here. I mean, it is what it is, and it's another game on the schedule, and play it, and ever who wins. I mean, Clinton's not played in 2 weeks, so.
Have they practiced?
No, nothing. Now, if you're out for the COVID, you don't even get to practice. You don't even practice.
Wow.
So,
well,
Hall's has been out on and off, and now their whole school is shut down. So no sports for the next 2 weeks at Hall's. They're shut down completely, the whole school.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it really does. And like I said, we've made it to week 5. I don't know how, but we have made it to week 5. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well.
We look forward to you calling in next Friday night. If everything goes your way, you'll call in. If you're calling in.
I called tonight. I heard someone informed me you called me out, so I just had to remind you. You don't scare me.
I didn't say I wasn't trying to scare you. I just said you didn't call last Friday night. I was just going to call you out and see if you'd call this Friday night. I figured you just hid under a tree somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right. You didn't call last Friday night because you didn't want to hear it. You're just barely taking it tonight.
I'll hear it right now. Let me hear it.
I've been giving it to you. I just told you. You've stuttered around. You've blamed it on this. You've blamed it on that. You've had every excuse in the world, except to just say, we got beat last night.
Well
hey, let me ask you something. Let me ask you. It's a serious question.
Okay.
Do you think it hurt Oak Ridge last night playing? Because the last 2 weeks they played on Thursday night. As a fan, did you like that, or had you rather be playing on Friday night?
It didn't matter to me.
Okay. Well, usually,
I was fine with it.
Usually, if you're a fan, you won't play on Friday night. You don't like Thursday night games, so it don't matter you because you're just fair weather fan anyway.
Oh wait, are you a Clinton and Fulton fan, or do you like Maryville and Alcoa now? Which one is it?
Well, I'm a Clinton guy. So
You're a Clinton
I've
guy?
not really been a Fulton fan in football. I've been a Fulton fan in basketball.
So the truth comes out, Fairweather fan. The truth comes out.
I'm not a Fairweather fan. I kept stats at Fulton for a long time and did some stats stuff in basketball. But I'm a Clinton fan. I'm a Clinton guy. So I'm really not. The last 9, 10, 12 years that I've been here doing Channel 12 stuff, I've really not been a fan of any high school team because I've been all over East Tennessee doing high school football.
So I guess you also served water at Maryville's football team too, so that makes you a Maryville fan, huh?
I served water.
Yeah, I guess that's the case too. Is that what you're about to say? You're a Maryville fan as well, Alcoa fan?
I'm not covering Maryville or Alcoa, neither one. So I'm not a Maryville fan or an Alcoa fan. They have two really good football programs. I'll leave it at that. It's all the rest of the stuff. It speaks for themselves about Maryville and Alcoa. Winning state championship after state championship after state championship after state championship after state championship.
Yeah, there's the fan coming out of you. There it is.
I'm just telling you that it's the truth. Can you say that? Didn't think.
I can say.
Hey, we'll see you. See you next week, crybaby. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Tell Crybaby to get off in the air and tell Crybaby to get off in the air and dry his towel.
he needs to dry his towel. You got that exactly right. He's got every excuse under the sun.
He couldn't take it last week. He couldn't get on there and take it, so he had to cry about it.
He did. He cried a lot about it. He's crying tonight right now, too.
What's Campbell County doing tonight?
I have not seen a score. I asked that a while ago, and I've not seen a score. I don't know, just to be honest with you. Campbell County. We hadn't seen any score of Campbell County yet. As soon as we get it, we'll get it up there, or I'll say something about it 1.
Okay, that'd be good.
Okay.
What happened to Oak Ridge last night? Did it just fall apart?
Well, no, they're really struggling on the offensive side of the football. Last night they really did struggle. They're just plus, let's not take anything away from West. West is a really good football team too, but Oak Ridge's offense last night, I don't know that Coach Gaddis would say maybe it stayed on the bus, but it didn't really get off. So they didn't play very well last night offensively. They played all right defensively, but they're struggling a little bit right now. I'm sure they get it all worked out eventually.
I think Clinton, if they'll play ball, they'll give them a good game.
Well, we'll see. I mean, like I said earlier, if you was listening, Clinton's been off the last couple of weeks. He had to shut down the program for 2 weeks, so with no practice coming back, I don't know. I would rather play anybody, but have to play. And man, Clinton's schedule the next couple of weeks is murder's row with Oak Ridge and then West. I mean, it is murder's row. So they've got a tough road to hold to come back to. So we'll see how it plays out.
Did Union County come back tonight?
I've not seen Union County neither, so I don't know that. I'm not for sure. So I'll keep a check on that too, but I've not seen Union County.
All right, you guys have a good night, and I'll keep watching and see what comes up.
I see, man.
Thank you.
We're calling you on the air.
Yes, who won the Morristown West and Fairgate game?
Not seen the score yet. We've not got a score on it yet. As soon as I get it, I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We're calling you on the air.
Yeah, Campbell County beat Gibbs 41-31.
41-31. There's a man. You ain't heard a Farragut score, have you?
No, I'll look for you. Macaulay beat Catholic 45-31.
Macaulay beat Catholic 45-31.
Yeah, that was a real good game. I hear that Macaulay's got a really good team.
Yeah, I listened to just a little bit. It must have a really good running back.
Yeah, it was 45-31 final, and anybody interested, Grace Christian beat Notre Dame 49-27. And if I get the full score, I'll let you know, okay?
Okay, all right, see you, man.
Thank you.
All right, folks, let's jump out and take the first break of the night. When we come back, you can give us a call at 483-8112, and we'll be right back.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores and there's always something new. Like in Hammers' popular ladies boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And on the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do. Renai, hot water for all.
It's this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
Your local Ferris dealer is SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600.
I haven't been told that. Welcome back to the Friday Night Scoreboard.
Just got a lot prettier in here.
Where's your son at? He's over. We ain't got him on camera yet, so that's why he got more prettier in here. So that's what his mother would think anyway. So
They held Powell to low scoring game.
yeah, they did. It's turn your mic on, Cox. Is a
they don't want to hear me.
It's a close. It's a close. Well, you missed the most important phone call of the night.
Who's that? Anthony?
Oak Ridge fan called, crying. He's cried about everything in the world while Oak Ridge got beat last night. And it was, I felt sorry for him. I just cut his punishment off and hung up on him. So it was bad.
I'll be the first to tell you, I feel sorry for Oak Ridge fans. That was.
Well, they're struggling. They're struggling a little bit right now. There's no doubt about it. They're struggling.
That was a bad situation. And their only 7 came on a defensive touchdown.
Yep. Scoop and run, a short scoop and run there. Defensively, they didn't play really bad last night. But also, you have to think this: West. I don't think West played very well last night neither. I mean, their tailback, what's his name?
Mattress.
Mattress. He didn't play. He was hurt. No. He didn't play very. I don't know that would have made any big difference. But West looked a little bit off last night too. So I don't.
Panky's got him rolling in Roane County, doesn't he?
Won another one, didn't he?
Yep.
And look at that Elizabethan score, and look at that Greenville score. I mean, I know who they're playing, but still look at it. So Elizabethan ain't really missed a beat, but Greenville's the one that might start rolling now.
So speaking of those two schools.
Yep. Oh, hold on a minute, just a minute. The biggest win tonight in the area might be Oliver Springs over Greenback.
It was 7-0 last time I looked. What was the final?
21-7.
21-7. So that has to put Oliver Springs in a situation where, in long-term playoffs, that's got to help you get in the playoffs.
I would think the Greenback coach sort of give a little material for bulletin board material this week. He's called them out, said it's not a rivalry with Oliver Springs yet because they've not beat us. He said combined last year we scored 80 points in 2 games. So.
You think Coach from Oliver Springs called him that?
I don't know. We might get him called. We'll see.
If Brad's watching, or somebody's got.
He was on the air with the guys after the game. He came up to the box and was on the. I thought we had a call, but I guess not. Okay, we'll keep rocking then.
So yeah, that is a big win, especially last year that was sort of Oliver Springs' downfall was just couldn't beat Greenback.
And like I said, had a couple of shots out.
How many people are happy right now that Greenback's losing?
Well, there's a ton. There's a ton. Catholic gets beat tonight. Pretty bad.
What was the final?
45-31.
Okay, and that was 28-28 at one time?
Yes.
Yeah, at the half.
I think so.
Yeah. That's big boy football.
That's big boy football.
Yeah, it's totally different. Man, TKA beat Webb by 50.
Yeah, man, what's happened to Webb?
They still run the wing tee?
That might be it. What? Quick caller, you on there?
Yeah, Farragut beat Barstow West 45-14.
45-14. All right, thank you.
Hey, caller, do you know if Coach Courtney was he at the press box or at the game or anything?
I think he's at the game.
Okay.
I don't think he coached.
Just in the press box. I heard his son was calling the ball plays. And
I mean, I don't know about in the press box. I think they interviewed him before the game.
Okay.
It was before the game, and he was just at the game. I don't know about the press box. I'm sure.
Midway beats Wartburg pretty bad.
Yeah. Midway's turned it around a little bit down there. You know, there's Oneida. They're still staying undefeated. Alcoa rose night over Pigeon Forge. That's really not a surprise to anyone.
I heard Oneida will be better the next 2 to 3 years than they are this year. Even though they lose the Morgan kid that's the running back and the punter, I heard that the talent was more in the junior, sophomore, and freshman class. Talked to a guy tonight, or earlier today from Oneida. And Oneida was the place the 5-star Preps did the documentary tonight. So that's going to be fun just to, see that documentary. But he was telling me the next 2 to 3 years, the future's really bright for Oneida football.
Tony Lambert keeps them rolling up there, man. They just come out and play hard-nosed football, play really good defense up there, and they just keep rolling.
Hardin Valley.
I feel sorry for them right now. They're taking a whooping every Friday night, it seems.
Loudon keeps rolling.
Well, regular season champs. That's about it.
Until they play Alcoa.
Until they play Alcoa. And then it's not. I mean, I don't know what you say about it other than what I just said, but Bradley Central, a team that everybody's talking, a lot of people are talking about. Udawal team that's been pretty good down. Isn't it East Hamilton that everybody's talking about? On that end, is it East Hamilton? Is that right? That everybody's talking about?
I would say East Hamilton would be the team that people have sort of made the comment that that's a team that could play, Anderson County or maybe beat Anderson County in that region.
We know where that game's at?
I don't.
At AC or East Hamilton? Does anybody know?
Oh, wait, didn't East Hamilton come up here last year?
I couldn't tell you.
I'll look it up.
Anyway, folks, you'll give us a call.
I'm sorry. I just had a guy text me. That was not Webb of Knoxville. That was Nashville School.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Keon Johnson went there. Gotcha. Webb, what is it called? A Webb Buckle or something like that? So that's not Webb of Knoxville. That makes a little more sense.
Yeah, it does make a whole lot more sense. But still, Webb of Knoxville has not been playing that good the last.
And this caller's probably Webb's single biggest donor. The guy that sent me the text, so he would know. He probably flew in his private helicopter to go watch them play.
Well, they play tonight.
I don't know,
Did he tell you that?
If they were playing at Webb, he probably caught a helicopter from Oliver Springs to Webb.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah,
I heard that. 483-8112. Give us a call. We'd love to talk to you.
He said, "Come on, man." I love that guy. I miss him. I don't ever get to see him anymore. He was easy to beat on the golf course.
I heard that.
So, and you were bringing up East Hamilton. I'm not sure where that game is, but the one thing that I was looking at is Anderson County. That will be the game left on their schedule because that's the only team left on their schedule with a winning record.
East Hamilton is?
East Hamilton. I think Jefferson County, I don't know if Jefferson County or Sequoia, either one's won a game.
Has Jeff won a game?
I don't think. I think they're 0-5.
Did I see that score right up there? Rockwood, Memphis County beat Rockwood tonight 67 to 20 something.
Yes.
Holy cow! Wow.
So obviously the East Hamilton game will be for the championship, the region championship, which there's some crazy sports writer somewhere picked East Hamilton to win the region this year. So
I don't know that it's crazy. Maybe.
I don't know.
It's down there.
I don't know if anybody's played Anderson County close in that region the last 3 years.
Well, there's not, but you get a chance every year.
It's true.
And the football's not round, so you don't really know how it's going to bounce. So there's a chance. Everybody's got a chance. Chris got a chance to win next week over Clinton.
You think so?
Yeah. Just like Clinton's got a chance to win over Oak Ridge next week.
I was getting ready to say.
Everybody's got a chance. I don't know what. Personally, I don't think it'll be a very good football game. Clinton's not played in 2 weeks or practiced in 2 weeks. Oak Ridge is not playing particularly well right now. So, who would have ever thought there's two teams going to play and they both need to win really bad. Really bad. I mean, it's a region game. Oak Ridge needs to win bad, and Clinton needs to win bad.
Yeah.
What a way for a first-year head coach to get his first win and be over Oak Ridge. I mean, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying, but when's the last time we've sat here and said, Oak Ridge needs to win next week, and so does Clinton? We said that about Clinton more than we said it about Oak Ridge in the past 4 or 5 years.
East Hamilton game it's at East Hamilton.
Well, home field advantage. You never know when you go on the road.
Just got a caller that said Clinton will not win that game against Oak Ridge.
Well, I didn't say they would for the caller that has called you or texted you there. I just said, everybody's got a chance.
Hold on now. I just said Hamilton comes here.
It's here?
So.
The game's here. That ought to be. It's still a big game. I mean, I don't care where it's played, really. It's a big game. We'll see if East Hamilton is as good as everybody thinks.
That's good. They got them here at home.
Yeah, it's good to get them here at home.
If anybody from Anderson County is watching, obviously some of y'all are texting. Did you understand that they made a change at starting quarterback tonight?
I heard that. I don't know if it's true or not.
On Twitter, the first touchdown, I think, was from Martinez. So
I heard that today, that they had made a change, but I don't know what the reason was. Quick caller, you on the air.
East Hamilton is coming to AC, and it will be their senior night. And yes, they started a new quarterback tonight, Martinez.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Hey, caller,
Anderson County.
Well, hold on just a second.
Anderson County's not doing their senior night early this year. They're going to wait till the last game of the season at home.
Anderson County's going to do their last game of the season, senior night. Yes. No, it's not the last game of the season. Sequoia is the last game.
It's the last home game.
Yeah, last home game.
Last home game, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been reading that a lot of teams are going ahead and having their senior night just simply because they don't know how long they'll be playing football, and if you lose a game later on, you go ahead and get the senior night stuff
out of the way,
taken care of.
Thanks for calling and giving us the information.
All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of teams are doing senior night a little earlier, just in case. I don't know if you've seen tonight, Halls is out for the next 2 weeks. The whole school.
That's sad.
The whole school.
So I'm not a doctor. I do sell hand sanitizer. So my question would be, why can a kid on Halls's golf team not go get tested for COVID to see if they have it and then play in their district tournament instead of losing the remainder of their postseason?
I think it's just the rules that schools have adopted. It's a Knox County.
So you think that's a Knox County policy?
Yeah.
That if he goes and gets see, because I thought Carnes football had a false positive type situation where they had someone tested positive, then they went back and they tested negative.
But what I think has happened at Halls is completely different, because Halls has opted out of school for the next 2 weeks and went virtual. And Halls, I think Knox County Schools has said, if you're virtual, there's no sports. So if the whole Knox County thing shut down this year, let's just say like at the end of October.
If your school's on red, you can't play.
If your school, just to say in October, Knox County goes all Knox County virtual, there would be no basketball season at any school in Knox County.
Until they go back.
Until they go back.
Okay.
And I think once you cross the line and you take the whole system virtual, you probably are not going to
go back.
You might not go back until next year till you go back to school again, maybe.
I heard out of 60,000+ schools, I heard this tonight from a really good source who is connected to Emerald Charter School. And I heard out of 60,000+ kids that are in school right now in Knox County, there's less than 5,000 of them that.
I think the problem is there's there's three problems, okay, from what I understand. There's three problems. One is the kids. Two is substitute teachers and substitutes. And three, believe it or not, is custodians. There's not enough custodians to do the job that needs to be done to keep the schools sanitized and keep them open.
There wasn't enough before they started.
Well, there might not have been. I don't know anything about any of that. I know this year it's really been hard to get substitute teachers for certain school systems. So,
I'm going to get on Jesse tonight. He was bragging on how good Cleveland looked and how they really looked good against Maryville, and then they win an overtime game against Heritage tonight by a touchdown.
Yeah, but Heritage is a much improved football team, too. They've not played bad this year.
He's got some COVID rust going on.
Who's got some COVID rust?
Jesse. Yeah, we need to let him know that when he calls in tonight. He picked Union County to win the first game of the season. They lost by 30-plus points.
Did Union County play tonight? Does anybody know that?
I don't know.
I've not seen Union County up there, so I don't know.
Then he picked Alcoa.
Well, there's a lot of people who picked Alcoa. A lot. Campbell County won tonight against Gibbs, 41-31. Yes, our caller called in and told us that.
Yeah.
They sure did. So, anyway, 483-8112, give us a call. I'm hoping some Oliver Springs fans would call. And
was that game at Greenville or Greenback?
No, that game was at Oliver Springs.
Oh, at OS.
We did that game tonight. Channel 12, it's the game of the week, was Oliver Springs and Greenback. So that was that's a big win for Oliver Springs. And first of all, it's the first win of the year. They needed it. Plus, it's just a big win tonight. I seen Fulton won tonight. Are they playing a little bit better, or was it just the opponent?
So, Coach Black gets a phone call today, a little after 10 o'clock. I asked him to report to the office. He reports to the office to find out his starting center and his quarterback would not play tonight.
Okay.
Due to a close contact with someone who tested positive for COVID.
Wow.
I mean, no
kid at 10 o'clock.
No. I mean, like no positive test. Just have these kids had close contact for more than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
With this.
And I don't know if they can go get a test and get cleared to come back, or if they've got to set to 10 days.
They can't. They had a rapid test set up for the kid, and it don't matter.
Got to set to 10 days.
Got to set to 14.
Yeah, 14. Excuse me, it's not 10.
Luckily for him, he's got they've got a bye week coming up, and then they've got Maryville.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I wouldn't want that schedule.
No
more than I'd want Clinton.
And I'm not saying Fulton is going to do this, but I got a phone call from a guy that they lost a game against a team that was all defeated this year, hadn't won a game. And his question to me was, do you think as the season goes on, the teams that have no chance to make the playoffs or the teams that aren't that good and know they're not going to win, do you see anybody opting out of some of these butt kickings at an Alco or a Maryville or a or a Central, or somebody could lay on you?
If I'm not, if I was Robbie Black, he's not this type of person, I don't think anyway, but I don't know that I wouldn't look. If I've got a bye week, you said next week, and then Maryville, I don't know that I don't call them. The Maryville game doesn't mean anything other than it's a big gate for somebody. But the way the situation is right now, it's not really a big gate. So why play that game? Why not get more healthy, and maybe wait and play your next game that's a region? That's just my thoughts.
Yeah. Well,
let me ask this question. Would we have been better off this year instead of playing 10 football games? We'd have played our region games only. Played the region games only. Played that schedule. And played no more than that schedule. Spread the games out a little bit. Get ready for the playoffs. Do the playoffs. And get out of here with what we got out of here with. Would it have been better off sort of like the college is doing?
That's a good question.
Just tonight, I'm watching on TV. I see the ticker running on the bottom. I was on ESPN watching ESPN. The college games that are being canceled right now for this tomorrow. There's a bunch being canceled. just,
Was this
COVID
just
stuff.
a cancellation of like today or last week, or cancellation due to because the conference isn't playing?
Well, cancellation due to
COVID outbreak?
Yep. It's either postponed another week or it's postponed, period. The SEC said a 53-man roster today. You have to have so
Good.
many, this don't make no sense. They say you have to have 53-man roster and you have to have so many players. But a school can opt not to abide by that if they want to and still play without, say, so many offensive linemen, they can play. And and that 53 has to be 53 scholarship players.
No walk-ons or traveling?
No walk-ons or
What if a walk-ons is starting on the punt team?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's the way
They're not starting anymore?
I understood it, it's 53 scholarship players. That's what I understood. I might be incorrect on that. I'm sure if I am, somebody will call in and correct me. But that's what I understood today. And then, not that we're in college right now, but Big Ten decided to wean you back in.
This is a good point from a parent. This is a good point from a parent. The setting out for 14 days, if you're in close contact, is really promoting kids that are good star athletes to not even go get tested. Because if you don't feel good, but you don't want to miss anything, you're just going to try to push through and get better.
I don't know that you can push through and get better.
What's according to how it hit you? According to how it, some of them are asymptomatic.
The people that I know have had it. I can tell you one individual told me for 3 days he don't remember nothing.
Well, I talked to an individual today that finally got off oxygen, but now, he's not 16 or 17 years old.
Yeah, but they're saying right now that's where all the cases. I don't know, man.
I can see the cases growing at that age group.
Let's take a break, and we'll come right back and take your calls at 483-8112. But let's jump out and take our second break tonight. We'll talk to you when we come back.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the Hot Water Wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do. Renai, hot water for all.
Breaker, breaker, good buddy. We've just rolled in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs.
That was back in my truck driving days, many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Hammer Stores.
I am a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Welcome back to the Friday Night Scoreboard. Cox, can you believe this time next week we'll be talking Tennessee football? Well, we've been talking it anyway, but it'll be just 24 hours away or a little bit longer. We hope. Yes, we hope.
We hope.
Everybody, somebody in the back said we hope, and we do hope. So, we're talking about high school struggling. I wonder about, what colleges are. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm interested to see, like you said, who plays, who doesn't play, who can, what's the season look like? There's a lot going on. There's a lot of open-ended stuff, but I'm excited for college football. I'm excited for these high school kids that they're getting to play. You hope basketball and baseball and these kids don't lose their senior year. I couldn't imagine being a baseball coach last year knowing that you didn't get to play.
Bad.
And there's a possibility if something happens again, but we'll see.
We'll see. Let's take his call. They hung up.
That's Brad let me in the back door call.
That's Brad let me in the back door call. I heard that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, what a lot of people don't understand, some people might say, well, it ain't no big deal. Yeah, it is a big deal. Because some of those seniors, that's probably their last time they're ever going to play ball. As on a competitive level, whether it's, it don't matter if it's high school or what it is, but it's probably the last time they're going to play some organized sport like that.
And I don't know this to be true, but I've been told that you have schools taking buses to game where the JV team rides the bus and the varsity kids ride with their parents to the game.
I hadn't heard that.
I heard that's going on here with local schools. You have JV bus that the kids ride on, and you've got a varsity bus or a varsity players riding with their families to the game. So if that's the case, do you think these kids are probably also virtual learning?
Probably. I would think that's the reason why that you do that.
Do you wonder if all of our schools in our viewing area have virtual learning? I know the privates don't. I got a phone call from CAK and the golf coach, and he was like, we got the district tournament starting in a week. He'd heard Halls was going to lose their postseason. He said, you think we should stick if it was you, would you stick all the golfers in virtual learning? And I said, well, if you had the option, it might be a good thing to do for the next 3 weeks if you're trying to win a state championship.
Yeah.
Well, he texted me back and said, good thought, ain't going to work. We don't have virtual learning.
Well, see, what people don't understand is virtual learning is an expenditure on the school that you have to go out, and you can't be a teacher and do virtual teaching at the same time, so you have to contract it out. It's a huge expense.
Does Clinton City have virtual?
We have virtual learning. Clinton City has, and Harris County's doing it too, I think. I know Oak Ridge is too. So the 3 schools in Harris County do have it. The systems in Harris County do have it. I forgot how many kids we had doing it. It's maybe in this 30, 40, something like that.
I think in Knox County, I read the numbers were right at a third of their students are doing virtual.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting.
But I understand, and I might be wrong on this, and I'm sure we can find out. I think Knox County said if you do virtual, you don't play. I think that's what's going on with Halls right now.
Really?
I think. I could be wrong, but I believe I read that somewhere. I sure do believe that. So, we'll just see how it rocks on here. 483-8112, give us a call. And I wish somebody from Oliver Springs would call tonight so we could talk to an Oliver Springs fan and somebody that went to the game and that could tell us about the game a little bit. I'm sure it was pretty sweet tonight to beat Greenback, a team that's been a pain in your side for the last couple of years anyway. 2 pretty good teams that Oliver Springs had the last couple of years not been able to advance on because of Greenback. So I'm sure there's a lot of people tickled tonight that Oliver Springs won the football game.
Oh, yeah. I'd say there's a happy coach, happy players.
I'd say the school just about 5 miles down the road that's at Cofield. They're probably even happy tonight that Oliver Springs beat Greenback tonight, because that's been a pain in everybody's side for the last 4 or 5 years. And I asked this question earlier, have they stopped recruiting at Greenback?
Well, they started losing kids. Yeah. Their best player transferred to Alcoa.
Yeah, last year, though, them best players were transferring from Alcoa to Greenback. So, anyway, it's interesting, man. This is just one messed up year. That's all I got to say. It's just a messed up year all the way around.
Are you saying it's messed up because Oliver Springs beat Greenback?
No, I'm not saying it's
that's what it sounded like.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's just messed up because of COVID stuff. This is a year I'd just like to forget if we could, but I know we can't. But it'd be nice if it was just over with. We'll see. I'd like to know what the odds Las Vegas have got as whether college football. Who? Oh my God. Oh, the mayor. Go ahead, Mayor.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Mr. Quinn?
Doing good. How you doing, buddy?
Well, I had a good game tonight. We had a hard-hitting game.
And I'm sure you was there.
I was there, and I was right beside your station.
Yeah, he's right beside. He's right in front of the state where we broadcast from, right? Like you always are. Coach, Mayor, how big was that game for the people of Oliver Springs tonight?
He turned his TV down.
It was a huge game for us, and it was a very hard-hitting game, one of the hardest-hitting games I've seen this year.
One of the hardest-hitting games you've seen this year. All right. Oliver Springs' first win of the year, man. I don't guess it come at a really good time too, didn't it?
It really did.
It really did, didn't it?
It really did.
All right, Mayor. I appreciate you calling tonight.
Good to talk to you, Quinn.
All right, good to talk to you too. See you. Mayor from Oliver Springs calling in tonight. Says it was the hardest hitting game of the year so far. So.
Have Coach call us from Oliver Springs, Brad. So have Coach call us from Oliver Springs if you don't mind. Gotcha. See if he'll call in and brag on his kids. It's a big win. He called in last year after he took a heartbreaker from Greenback. So.
Anyway, 483-8112. We appreciate the mayor of Oliver Springs calling us tonight. He does. He sits right up against the press box. He always has, as long as I've been going to Oliver Springs anyway. He's always sat there because I always stop and sit down and talk to him at halftime. And he's always he sits right there.
You're a fan favorite.
I'm a fan favorite.
I'd say these schools, you know.
They love me across the.
Yeah, I'd say these schools.
Rowan and Morgan County area. I'm loved.
Yeah, I'd say these schools were sad to see you and Barry retire.
Yeah, they were really sad to see Barry retire. I don't know so much about me, but probably Barry.
They said they had to tighten up their pockets when Barry came to town to call a game.
Listen, he's the tightest man I know, besides you. And I don't know who's tighter. You're him.
I just forgot my wallet one time.
I heard that. If you forget your wallet all the time, you probably ain't got it tonight.
I got a couple dollars.
483-8112. Give us a call. Like I said, just to recap just a little bit, Oliver Springs wins tonight over Greenback, which is a huge win for the Oliver Springs program. I think Coach said up in the press box tonight after the game with our guys at Channel 12, it's that signature win that the program's been looking for, and they got it tonight. It really don't matter what Greenback's record is. It's just what they've done in the last 4 or 5 years. So congratulations to Oliver Springs. Harris County wins tonight. Clinton was off tonight. Campbell County wins tonight. Oak Ridge loses last night. I just wonder how much the Thursday night, back-to-back Thursday night games hurt Oak Ridge.
I don't know.
I bet Coach don't play no more Thursday night games.
He don't like Thursday night games. He don't like Saturday night games.
I bet he don't play no more. Hey, and speaking of Saturday night games,
I was getting ready to talk about this.
Who do you think's going to win tomorrow night between Powell and Central?
Powell.
Powell?
Central's beat up. Central's missing 5 starters on defense.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why they go out and get that game then if they're missing 5 kids? That don't make no sense.
I think if you look at what was going on, Greenville wouldn't commit to playing Central this coming Friday. And when Greenville wouldn't commit to playing Central, if Central didn't play Powell, they would only play one game between now and October 10th. The way it was set up, you got a bye week, you've got COVID situation, and you were gonna, literally lose, three weeks of football.
To go back to what you said a while ago, is Greenville sort of cherry picking who they play?
I don't necessarily think it's just guns a-blazing like it has been, because they would not give Coach Craney a definite "we'll come play you next Friday night," because that was in the works. And if that would have been the situation, I think Coach Craney would have probably taken off this weekend,
yeah.
And he would have played Greenville on that Friday night, turned around and played another game, then had his bye week. But with not having that,
sort of got forced.
You're sort of forced to play. I don't know. People get on Twitter and different places and say, "I'm glad you did it for the kids." I'm not necessarily sure Central playing that football game was the best thing for their kids.
Okay, here's Coach Green. We'll come back to that thought here in just a second. Coach Green, congratulations on a big win tonight.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Very proud of our football team and our coaching staff tonight.
Coach, I just caught the last part of the game as I'm coming in the studio here tonight, but I listened to you after the game, and I understand Greenback give you a little material to put on the bulletin board.
They did, but I'm not going to get into that. I just want the focus to be on our kids and how hard they played tonight.
I understand that. I got a call a while ago from the mayor, and he said it's probably the hardest hitting game he's seen in a while at Oliver Springs.
Well, we came out with a little bit different attitude tonight. We were laying the wood, especially on the defensive side of the football. We lost a tough one in double overtime last week. And we had a good talk in the locker room after that one, and knew the only people that could fix the problem was in the room, and our kids responded with a great week of practice, and coaching staff worked their tail off. There was a lot of teaching and a lot of learning going on this week, and the team never stopped believing and the coaches never stopped believing. So after knowing 4 starts, sometimes you find out who your friends are. But
I understand.
We rallied, circled the wagons, and just so proud of our football team.
Coach, who do you have next week?
We've got a bye week next week, so
okay.
We'll hopefully get some bumps and bruises healed up. Brandon Nation went out tonight on concussion protocol, so good week to have an off week to give him time. And some other guys, it's mid-season now, so you've got the typical ankles and shoulders and stuff like that. So give us a little rest and get ready to finish out this region schedule, which certainly won't be easy. Coach Tapp said it a couple of weeks ago that he thinks this is the toughest 1A region in the state, and it's a pretty tough region, I'm going to tell you. So
it's fun to follow.
It's fun to follow.
We're going to get healed up. Got 2 weeks to prepare for Harriman, and Coach Tapp will have the Blue Devils ready. Last time we played down there, we scored 49 seconds left to win the game. So just going to get back to work. We're going to enjoy this one tonight and get back to work.
Coach, just a question we've asked a lot of coaches we've talked to this year, and I asked you the same question. How hard has it been this year with the COVID-19 stuff going on? How hard has it been on you as the head coach? I mean, is it an extra load for you, or has it just all worked out?
Well, it goes back, like me and Coach John Webb at Rockwood were talking about before we played. We both just felt, like we weren't as prepared as we should be because we had no 7-on-7, no scrimmages. And then, we go from thinking, on July 8th, our first game is going to be September 14th. And then they tell us on Friday, hey, you got a game in 3 weeks, no scrimmages and no practice. So everybody, all coaches, it's not just us, everybody had to do the same thing, but it just took everybody out of the routine. We didn't get the practice that we usually get. So, some of the mistakes we've been making in the first 2 or 3 ball games, with stuff that usually gets corrected by having scrimmages and, watching film and being able to teach off the film. Nobody really had that this year.
That's correct. You're correct about that. You sure are. So, well, it's like I said, it's a big win for Oliver Springs. I heard you also say this tonight on TV, doing the interview there, that this is sort of a signature win that you've been looking for the program. And it is a big win.
Yes, it is a big win. When you're sitting there at 0-4, any win's a big win.
Any win's a big win, isn't
it? So, and to make it, over Greenback, which is, when before this year and the previous 2 years, we went 19-6, and 4 of those losses have been to Greenback. So, kind of get that monkey off our back and hope that we're getting on to a level of some of the upper echelon teams in our region. We hope we're there, and we hope we can just build on tonight's win and keep working.
Coach, did you have 1 overtime loss or 2 overtime losses since the season started?
We lost in double overtime at Northview last week. And,
did you lose in overtime to Oneida,
I thought
too?
you lost in overtime at Oneida.
No, that was last year.
That's
that was
last
6 overtime. 4 overtimes at Oneida last year.
Oh, okay. All right, then. We
And
didn't
then,
know. We was trying to figure if it's this year or last year.
He's getting old.
I'm getting old. I don't know what his
lost
deal
my
is.
mind.
He just lost his mind. Hey, Coach.
Well, I'm 0-2 in overtime games. I hope we don't play anymore.
I heard that. Hey, I know you said you won't just talk about the game tonight, but it's a rivalry now, I think, all right?
Well, we'll see.
All right, we'll see. I know you wanted. It's a rivalry now. I know you're on. I know all about it. I know you're on. I know you enough, I think, to know you're on. You're ready to go. So, all right. See, buddy.
Hey, thank you guys for having me on. Thanks for all BBB does for high school football.
Oh, man, it's an honor. It's an honor to cover you, and it's an honor to talk to you and have you on the TV with us tonight. Thanks, Coach. Hey, congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you so much.
All right, see you. Coach Green, Oliver Springs Bobcats, victorious tonight over Greenback. And Greenback, whether you like it or not, it's a rivalry now, and we'll see.
There's a lot of people happy about that.
There's a ton of people happy tonight. So, there's just a bunch of people happy tonight. 483-8112, you can give us a call, and we'll talk to you. What was we talking about for Coach Green?
The Central.
Yeah, the Central Powell game.
Yeah.
So you probably would not have played that game?
I just don't know how it helps. I just don't know how. You want to do what's right for your kids. You want to let them play as many games as you can. I understand that. But, when you are in Central's situation, what do you have to prove? You're 2-time defending state champ. You got a formula that wins in the postseason. So what do you have to prove by playing Powell in a regular season football game?
Well, I think you have. Here's what I think you have to prove. You've got Powell on the schedule now, and Central's got South Doyle later on. And you beat Powell, you beat South Doyle, you send a clear message.
What?
5A. I know what you mean, but I'm just thinking you're sending the message.
Yeah.
We're the best 5A football team in this area. The state, it's going to go through us, even though that's where it's going anyway. But it is going through us. We've already showed you once. Maybe it works out to be a disadvantage too.
I just don't know. You're banged up. You have 5 starters that are not going to play in that game tomorrow night. One of the Fortner, the wide receiver brother, he's been hurt for 3 weeks and playing. I just don't know if you're Central. I will never know why Central's playing this game. Okay. Because here's the thing. Football's not a 7-on-7 sport when it comes to the playoffs. 7-on-7 schools can win a lot of games. But when it comes football and when it comes to playoffs, you better be able to run the football, you better be able to control the line of scrimmage, and you better be able to play big boy football. And Central's proven they could do that for the last 3 years.
Oh, I agree 100%.
On the other side, Powell hadn't. That's why West beat them last year.
Yeah, Powell, last couple of years, they ain't got nowhere.
Yeah.
Quick caller, you on the air.
Yes, my name is Cheryl Tilton, and I am a fan of the Bobcats, Oliver Springs Bobcats. And I just want to congratulate them tonight. And I traveled all the way from North Carolina because my grandson plays for the Bobcats. His name is Kane Goode. and he played so well tonight, and I'm so proud of the whole team.
Well, that's a good story right there. Drove all the way from North Carolina to watch your grandson play tonight, and that's a great story. That's a great story.
They might need you back up here.
They
They're
might,
1-4.
Don't let the coach find out, because
Yeah.
you might be coming back again. What a story. All right, congratulations to him, then, and to you, too, for getting to see him win a big ball game tonight.
I tell you, it's amazing. It was awesome. I ain't got no voice for it.
I heard that, kid. I understand that. Thank you for calling.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, thank you. Now, that's a good story right there. Drove all the way from North Carolina to watch her grandson play tonight. Wow.
Got to see a good win.
Got to see a good win. She said she loved her voice, she said. So you still didn't answer the question.
Yeah, I think Powell wins.
You think Powell? Okay, maybe you didn't answer that question. I'm sorry.
No,
I think Powell wins.
Yeah, I think Powell wins. I just think it's a situation where Powell's played a better schedule up to this point. I think Central is the type of football team that they're built for November, December success. They're not built for 48 points and 10-0, see what happens in the playoff type deal. And I think, I think Powell wins that football game.
Do you think Central repeats this year's state champ?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know who's going to represent. Oak Ridge has been my biggest disappointment in 5A because I thought they might win the 5A region. I think if you look, West has the better football team as far as up front and running the football goes, best defense. Powell probably has the most explosive. But, South Dole and Central, who knows? I guess you got to pick Central and West until somebody beats those two teams. I think that could be another rematch in the semifinals.
Well, I wasn't overly impressed with West last night. I know they're banged up too, but we'll see. I don't know if there's a lot of people that got a lot of hype on West. They do have a lot of talent, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll just see. Quick caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hey.
What's going on?
Richie No here. How are you?
Doing good, Richie. How you doing?
Good. Did you hear anything about the ball game tonight?
We've not heard much.
Not heard much.
We heard Anderson County won, and they had a change at the quarterback position. Did Moog get hurt tonight?
He got hurt tonight, and that's the exact reason I wanted to call. It was awful.
Hey, Richie, speak up. We can't hear you. It was awful.
ACL or MCL.
Hey, what about the kid that got hurt last week?
That's another terrible shot. I wanted to touch on that too. That's Cameron Thomas.
Yeah, there you go.
He's had his MRI and it's come back that there's definite damage there. But I heard, not from Cameron, but I heard that he wanted to try it with a brace in a couple of weeks, which I think would be incredible if he could pull it off. Because man, that guy changes the game like nobody's business.
Yeah, I heard you comment last week that could potentially be a big loss. Maybe on the defensive side of the football for sure.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I mean, he's always been a good offensive receiver and stuff of that nature. But, man, defensively and cornerbacks, you just can't replace that guy. He's 5 stars. Pardon the pun, Jonathan, but he's 5 stars.
I heard that.
Hey, so Cam and Moog are both out right now.
They are, and you look at a kid like Nick. He's so dynamic. He's, as a freshman, of course he's still getting his feet wet, but he's first day on campus, he's one of your top 5 or 6 wide receivers. He's one of your, 1 or 2 running backs. This guy, he could just change the game on a dime. He was a dominant middle school football player. That don't always translate, but it translates when it comes to Nick Moog.
So it was a nasty knee injury. You said maybe ACL, maybe MCL. We couldn't hear you earlier.
Yeah, the doctor said that there's a lot of movement there, and they think it's, ACL or MCL, but, his dad's going to take him tomorrow and hopefully get an MRI. They're trying to get one scheduled quick in the morning, and, hopefully they'll get an answer Sunday afternoon or Monday.
Man, that's
a tough blow, right there.
Tough news.
Well, it's a tough blow. He's an incredible player, but if he so chooses, he could have walked right out, onto the wrestling mat and been an immediate factor there too. I mean, a lot of people don't know that about Nick. They just remember what he did, football-wise. But he's a top-notch wrestler.
That is right.
When I say top-notch, he was ranked, in the top 10 in the state year in, year out. He's just just a game changer.
He was in the state champion. He was in the state finals last year or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, he got courted by a lot of those travel wrestling programs, and to be on those things, you're not, Joe Blow from, Anderson County or Clinton. You're an elite type athlete to be courted for one of those things.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You all need to get healthy, because when I watched you all play Powell, I think 24, good-looking kid, he was hurt with some kind of knee injury as well, wasn't he?
He was. He had a strained sprain on the MCL, and now he pretty much, came back for a play or two last week, and tonight, he caught a big pass over the middle, and went up over two guys that can really, get up. Went up over those guys and brought the ball in, and, he made a couple of plays from the safety position. Anthony White's a game changer, and, to not have him when we played Powell would have definitely made a big difference in the ball game.
Yeah. Shoot, you all are only a play away from that game being a difference. Anyway, so.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Hey, what's some numbers tonight from the starting quarterback? What was the numbers impressive, or was that more? Did you all score those points in the on the ground? How did the game shape out tonight?
No, the offensive coaching staff came out and they wanted to give him an opportunity. I read the stats when it was over. I wish I had them right here in my hand. But he was, somewhere in the realm of 11 of 15 to 16. He ran the ball on two different scrambles, which was pretty impressive. And he did a good job. Stone came in later, and he did a good job. I think it's healthy for both kids to be given an opportunity and to push each other. I think that's, creating healthy competition is good for everybody.
That's 100% correct. That's always good. That's always good.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now the kid that started tonight, what grade he is? Is he a sophomore?
He's a sophomore. That's a pretty ballyhooed class. There's a lot of good sophomores in our football program. Not a lot of those guys are making an impact yet. But as soon as graduation hits, a lot of these guys are going to come to the forefront. And, that's a really good class we're pretty proud of.
There's a kid named Noah and Val that I think are sophomores. It's made pretty good noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and according to the weird gray-headed guy to your right, he gets his athleticism from his mother.
That's right.
He does. He didn't get it from you.
I guess not.
I guess not. I know not.
I've just come to eat it at this point.
He gets. His mother was very athletic, I'm sure.
That's right. There's a lot of, there's probably, 9 or 10 really good athletes in that class, and then there's, 4 or 5 kids that we're going to find out next year if they can step up in the trenches in that class. The trenches right now are being held down by a bunch of seniors, and it's, it's been pretty impressive. They've done a good job.
Who's they say you got next week?
Go to Jeff County, which is, disappointing. This time last year, Jeff County was 3-1, and you were really excited about the matchup. And then this year, they've not gotten off to a very good start. I know they're pretty proud of their sophomore class. I've heard Spencer claim it's the best class to come through there in 5 or 6 or 7 years. So I'd say, a lot of those guys are starting if what he said was true.
Are they 0-4 or 0-5?
I think they're 0-4.
Okay.
I think they had one of those COVID wins, and then they replaced somebody. But on the field they're 0-4, or not a cover win, a loss there. But on the field they're 0-4.
I got you. Well, we were talking earlier. It looks like that East Hamilton game's a big game that will be coming up later, the latter part of October, and from now to then, you all maybe can get healthy and get rolling into that game.
Yeah, it'll be pretty good. Tonight, the Brock kid came in and provided some Wildcat type, zone read type reps, and it was fun to watch. He's the transfer became eligible last week, played a little linebacker against South Doyle, and tonight it was fun watching him, do a little zone read and take the ball up the middle. And he's a gutsy little runner. I enjoyed watching him play.
All right, man, we appreciate you calling.
All right, guys, always a pleasure. Be careful.
All right, see you, man.
See you, buddy. Good luck.
All right. Richie No. Got a son that's a running back at AC. It's a pretty good athlete, and he does get it from his mother. So,
man, that's a terrible break for.
Yeah, to lose a couple of kids. I heard Richie on the radio last week. He did radio. He didn't do it this week. He done it last week. He was talking about the kid that got hurt. What's his name? Thompson.
Cam Thomas.
Cam Thomas. He was talking about him, how good a football player he was, and you just hate to hear a kid get a ACL, MC, any type of knee injury. It's just bad.
Yeah.
Go ahead, caller. You on the air?
Hey guys, Jesse Smithey. How are y'all tonight?
We're great. How are you, Jesse?
I'm not too bad. Just left South Doyle High School and headed back to a 5-star Preps headquarters.
I heard that's a nice place.
It's a nice place. Got a nice recliner to sit in and work in on a Friday night. So
they get you Wi-Fi yet?
What's that?
Have they gotten you Wi-Fi yet?
Yeah, we got some Wi-Fi there. It's dial-up though.
Dial-up. There you go.
Dial-up Wi-Fi. I don't know if that's a thing, but that's what I got.
Did South Doyle win tonight?
Yes.
South Doyle did win tonight. They won 60-20 over Sevier County. And I'll tell you what, guys, I saw this South Doyle game, this South Doyle team get blanked 15-0 by Grace Christian in week 2. And it was a team that did not have an offensive identity. They had no confidence. They didn't know what they were going to do in the run game. And they found a guy against Anderson County named Sean Gary, and those who watched that game, number 21 for South Doyle, know who I'm talking about. And he has just taken this offense and just totally flipped it and really injected a lot of life and confidence into it. He ran for 200 yards tonight, 4 touchdowns on 16 carries. And
jeez,
the South Doyle team that came into the year looking like a 5A contender and then kind of stumbled out of the gates is back to looking like a contender again.
So speaking of that, let's stay at 5A. If you could pick 2 teams right now to make the semifinals, who do you think you see in that semifinal game right now in 5A?
Oh, you're trying to get everybody mad at me, aren't you?
No. I'll stay away from 4A because you're scared of the 4A schools around here.
Yeah, I'll say this. Right now, I have West as my leading 5A team.
I did too.
They're number 4 in my rankings, and I have Powell number 5, Central number 6, and then South Doyle's outside of that top 10, just kind of on the edge. But they're, I'd say right now, West and Powell are your probably more complete teams. Now, Central has a chance tomorrow night on TV to really flip-flop those rankings, and they still feel slighted. And when you talk to their guys about it, they're the 2-time defending state champions in 5A, and they're still getting ranked behind teams. And a lot went into that ranking. They have a new coach. They got a new offensive coordinator. They got a new quarterback. They got a new running back. There's a lot of new components in that Central offense and that really the whole scheme of things. And their coach is a first-year coach. And it's hard to really project how guys are going to move over from that coordinator chair into the head coach chair. But so far, through 4 games, they've really proved themselves to be in the same mix, in that same conversation, to be 5A contenders again. So they have a really big opportunity Saturday night against Powell to put themselves on a big stage yet again and prove their worth. and they come into this game probably feeling like an underdog.
Yeah, I was telling David earlier on the show, they just seem more like a complete football team that is built at the end of the year on winning football games and not looking like a 7-on-7 squad.
Yeah, and it's with Central High School, they have a quarterback in Ryan Bolton who is one of the state's best punters, and then here he comes taking over for an all-state quarterback and trying to keep the momentum going for a two-time state champion. And I talked with Nick Craney on our show tonight, the football coach at Central, about how well Ryan Bolton has done in this transition into a starter. And then you work in Liam Fortner, the wide receiver who's committed to Army, as a Wildcat quarterback. That guy's averaging 11 yards a carry. Wow. And out of that look. And so they can run the football. They got multiple guys at receivers that they can throw the football to. And when they get Jaden Horton back from the injury list, Jaden Horton was an all-state safety. They were going to play him at receiver this year as well. Just a phenomenal athlete, a guy who's 6'2", 185. When he gets back from his collarbone injury, I mean, that's just another guy that they're going to have for a playoff run. So you can never count those guys out, Jonathan. Like you said, they're always going to be at their best towards the end of the year.
And they've done something that the other couple schools have not done in a long time, and that's win a couple state championships. So
yeah, I mean, and Nick Craney, even though he's a first-year head coach, I mean, he's been he's been the defensive coordinator there, for the last 4 or 5 years or so. So he knows the standard and he knows what works under Bryson Rossiter. I'm sure he'd carry that over into the way he coaches as well, but also kind of putting his own stamp on the program.
We had Oliver Springs coach on the air earlier, and a couple parents grandparents call in from there. Was that a surprise for you? Oh, was that a surprise for you tonight?
It really was. And I went to an Oliver Springs Greenback game in years past, and here in the last couple of years or so at Oliver Springs, and Oliver Springs gave them all they wanted, and they've come close so many times. And I know that quote from Greg Ryan, the Greenback coach, gets floated out every time they play about it's not a rivalry until they beat us. Well, Oliver Springs finally did it. And for this Oliver Springs team to do it, one that just could not get a win to save their life in the first few weeks of the season, I don't think anybody really saw that coming. Defensive struggles, and they could run the football a little bit. It really couldn't do much else. And got exposed on TV against Rockwood. And I know this Greenback is not the Greenback that's made runs to the state championship game, but still, it's to Oliver Springs, it's a meaningful football game. It is a rivalry football game to them, and I know they got to be ecstatic tonight. I know there's a lot of chatter on social media still going on about it right now.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, that was a big win. That's a cool win for the community. So they're very excited. Hey, update on Coach Courtney. We've got a couple Farragut fans. Was he able to attend the game tonight, or do you know?
I do not know that. I know he wanted to. I do know that for a fact. And anybody that was around here in Knoxville during Coach Courtney's battle with lymphoma in the mid-2000s knows that he was not going to stay at home. He came to practice every day. He was out there mowing the grass and really showed his kids the way to be a man and step up and take care of your responsibilities no matter what type of adversity is kind of befall you. So I'm sure he wanted to show his face to them again. His surgery went well Wednesday from what I'm told, and with this prostate cancer, and so I'm sure he wants to get back as soon as possible to show those guys that he's with them and that this is just how you do life. He's a great teacher of men, and I think anybody that's played for Coach Courtney or been around Coach Courtney understands that not only what they do on the field is important, but how they handle themselves as people off the field is important. So if you're going to be the head guy at Farragut, you got to set the standard, and that's what he's done.
Hey, are you going to that football game tomorrow night on over in Fountain City?
Yeah, we will. I'll be there personally. Danny Parker will be there shooting video and pictures. So we'll have a story, we'll have photos, we'll have videos, all that.
Do you need David to come over and do 5 Star Live with you?
No, you don't need me.
We do 1 5-star live per week. That's about all I can handle.
Heard that.
Yeah. Hey, what about next week? Is there any big games in the area or anything? I know this week was...
Well, it's Rockwood-Harriman week next week, isn't it?
Rockwood-Harriman, that's right.
The state's oldest rivalry, and I know those two communities will be fired up for that game, and so that'll be one of the marquee matchups of next week. But really, on the whole, it's not a good week of games that are going to just get you excited when you look at it on paper. And the good thing is we still have football, and that's what we need to kind of latch on to when we have these bad dockets of games on a certain Friday. But we still have football, and there's teams here and there that have gotten it taken away from them a little bit. But we're, as a state, we're still going forward, still moving forward, and those good games will come. And who knows, there might be a game that we don't think is going to be very good that's going to end up being the game of the night next week.
Absolutely. Well, we might catch you over there beside Litton's tomorrow night. We'll see.
All right. Just let me know.
You have a good, safe night.
All right, see you, man. Thanks, Jesse.
I appreciate it, Owen.
Hey, you made a prediction on that game already, hadn't you?
I did, yeah. I took Central High School to win that game 20-16, I think. We did a tail of the tape article and really broke the position groups down, and that was kind of led us to our decision with just a slight edge in Central's favor, but we'll see.
I believe he's right. All right, we'll see you next week.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
See you, man.
See you, bud.
All right, let's jump out and take I don't know why that didn't go off, but it did. Let's jump out and take another break. Take our final break of the night. We'll be right back here on the 5-Star Preps Friday Night Scoreboard.
Special guest coming.
Special guest coming, okay.
Yep.
We'll be right back.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do. Renai, hot water for all.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Mr. Walker.
A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low price.
Race on down!
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
Your local Ferris dealer is SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600.
Welcome back to the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard, 483-8112. We got a call with us. Go right to it. Quick caller, you're on the air.
Queener Coxey, what it up?
What up, man?
Hey, a rough night for the Rockwood Tigers.
Yeah, Meggs laid it to them, didn't he?
Yeah, they talk about, I think they call it getting browbeat, boat race, took to the woodshed.
Yep.
It was a tough night.
Yep.
Hey, Rockwood did have a little bit of momentum to start the game. We ran a little pooch onside kick, recovered it, scored, got an interception, and then got beat 67-21.
Hey, let's not talk about the past. Let's talk about that game coming up Friday night.
Hey, let's talk about the state's longest running rivalry. We played through wars. We're playing through COVID. Unlike Marion County and South Pitt, just saying. Hopefully we make it to Friday night and another Rockwood Harriman game.
Who do you have in that game?
Rockwood by 40.
Rockwood by 40.
Rockwood by 40.
Is that the opening line?
Well, I'll put the opening line at, no, I can't say it yet. Vegas hasn't let it out yet. We got to get some injury reports.
Because if it's 40, I'll let you have Rockwood. I'll take Harriman for a Coke.
Deal. Hey, the biggest win of the night, though, was Oliver Springs picking up their first win against the Greenback.
Yeah, that's a big win. Huge.
I think their recruiting pipeline may have finally ran out this season.
You think the cupboard's bare?
I believe the cupboard's bare. I don't know if y'all saw this on Facebook or not, but the Greenback, whatever newspaper they have up there, their coach was quoted in it saying, "We beat them by 88 in 2 games last year. This is not a rivalry game. It's just another game until they beat us." And, well, I guess it's a rivalry game now.
Yeah, it is now, I would think.
It is now.
It is now, so it is. What is Meigs County that good?
Meigs County's ranked second in the state. I'm not sure if they're the second best team in the state or not, but they're stacked. They've got some big dudes on that team. Everybody they ran out looked about twice the size of our players, and they're a pretty dang good football team.
I heard that. All right, man.
So, Midway picks up. Midway played Thursday night. They picked up a big win against Wartburg.
Yep.
Harriman gets the win tonight. Kingston with a big win tonight for the Yellow Jacket family and Coach Pankey. A little sad day for the Jackets, so they came out with a big win today. So that was good.
Yep.
Are the Jackets undefeated right now?
No.
What are they, 4-1?
Who'd they lose to?
I think they're 4-1. Yeah.
No, they might be undefeated.
Are they?
I think so. They started off with the Roane County sweep.
Yeah, I don't think they've lost yet.
Yeah, they're undefeated.
Brad says they're undefeated. They are.
They started off with the Roane County sweep, beat AE, and beat Northview.
Yeah, they beat AE, a team that they've had trouble with the last couple of years. Well, I think Coach Pankey said. I think they said Coach Pankey said last week that they hadn't beat them in a few years. I can't remember what he said.
So they had 1 non-contest.
Yep.
4 wins now.
Yeah, they're undefeated. They're undefeated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, what'll be interesting to see in that Rockwood Harriman game next week is the McCullum kid that plays basketball, the real tall kid. It's fun to watch them throw it up to him, watch him go get it.
Oh, he plays football.
Yes, I think this is his first year playing. He's obviously taller than anybody on the field, and we got to watch him against Coalfield, and they just throw it up, and he bats it around and comes down with it. So that'll be interesting to watch him play. That's
good to hear he stayed at Harriman. I didn't know where he went to school.
Well, I know that was kind of a question a lot of people had, but from all accounts, it looks like he's staying at Harriman, and that's good for him and good for Harriman.
It's good for the area. That's right.
Yep.
That is right.
Anyway, we get UT football next Saturday.
Yep.
Next Saturday. Yeah.
Man.
You got the Cowboys for a couple more weeks. You can watch them. That's America's team.
Good God, if only we had a government that was pro sports gambling and could get something done, we could bet on that game, Coxie.
You're not a Cowboys fan, are you?
I think I am by birth. My father's pretty diehard Cowboy, so I'm right there on the struggle bus with him, and I don't live and die by it like he does. I don't really have an NFL team. I hope the Titans do good. I hope the Cowboys do good, but they don't get my blood pressure going like the Vols do.
I understand. I understand.
Well, if that's the case, you'd probably be dead because the Vols probably put you in the grave about 4 or 5 years ago with these tank of a teams that we've had.
Golly. I think they're going to be the pallbearers at my funeral. You've heard that before.
Well, as long as they don't have Butch Jones, I can survive.
That's true. What a clown.
That is exactly right. My son could have done what he did with that team over there with Kamara and Jalen Hurd.
He still gets grief about that on Twitter. It's the funniest thing. They're always giving him they're always giving him grief about Kamara and benching him.
Yeah.
You know, he's smiled all the way to Banco, boys.
He can have all the money he wants. He's a failure. When you lose with kids like that, you're a failure.
He's special assistant to Nick Saban now. I think that's his title now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
So
special.
we have other titles for that.
He's special, all
I
right.
think he's about paid out. I think maybe this year's his last year. He gets any money. I think he's about paid out. I think so.
Yeah, I think it's January maybe.
Maybe you might be right. I've read it somewhere. He
can't come quick enough.
It probably can't, but I'm sure Tennessee will be glad they don't have to pay him no more. So, anyway. All right.
Hey, buddy, have a good night. Thanks for calling.
Y'all have a good one.
All right,
Have fun next Friday night. I know you'll be rocking around there like you run the place.
I always do. See ya.
See you, man. Harriman Rockwood. I don't know how many years they've been playing, but it's a long time. That's all I can say. How many?
101.
101 years. Wow. Woo. Long time.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. I remember a few years ago back, I believe it was Meigs County and Rockwood. Rockwood dominated that game in the first half, and in the second half, it's like the lights went off in Rockwood, and Meigs County ran away with that game. I think that year in the playoffs, Rockwood might have come back and won that ball game by 1 or 2 points.
Wow.
In the playoffs. So I'm not saying that'll happen this year, but you know, we've seen that Meigs and Rockwood game sort of go flip-flopping, you know. So, but anyway,
All right, before we get out of here, let's talk about some picks.
What kind of
Central Powell.
Well, I'm taking Central.
Central.
Yep.
I'm taking Powell.
Okay.
Rockwood Harriman.
Wow. Where's that game at? Rockwood or Harriman? Harriman? I'm going to take Coach Webb. I'm going to take the Tigers.
I'm taking the Tigers. I'm taking the Tigers. Clinton Oak Ridge.
Well, I just said the other night, both teams need to win. Clinton needs to win more than Oak Ridge. You know, Barry used to tell me not to pick with my heart, pick with my brain. I don't really have a brain, so, you know.
So you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble. I'm probably going to take the Wildcats just because.
You got a little bit of a brain.
I'd like to see new coach at Clinton. I'd like to see Coach Keith get a win. And it wouldn't make me mad if it was against Oak Ridge. I like Coach Gaddis too, so I'm gonna have to come down here on Wednesday night and have a talk with Coach Gaddis.
So are you picking the Wildcats?
Yeah, I did. I hadn't been around him any this year, and I'm gonna have to come down and bring him some good luck.
You will.
I'm gonna have to come down. I might have to come down Wednesday night and just catch him and talk to him for a few minutes. You know, we used to have him talks at the Pizza Inn. You know, he needs to be talked to every now and then. I'm one of the bigger fans he's got. I might be the only fan he's got right now. Just to be honest with you, I could be the only fan. He got in here finally. He's been waiting.
Who you taking, Oak Ridge or Clinton?
Who you taking? He
Which
don't
one?
know.
Pick one. Oak Ridge or Clinton?
Which one are you going?
I'm not for either one of them, but I'm gonna take Oak Ridge. Going with me.
He's going Wildcats too.
Yep.
Who's that? Who Richie say? Did he say who AC had next week? He
Yeah,
didn't say,
I'm
did he?
picking AC. Like I said, there's one team left on their record. There's one team left on their schedule with a winning record. I'm taking AC. I tell you what, if this little sophomore that they're playing, if he's good and he gets it figured out, this could be AC's year to head to Cookville.
You think?
Well, you got to think a kid's got to be good if they're going to put him in. I mean, right?
I guess AC could be that team I talk about like Loudon. You know, they do really good in the regular season, and when they get in the playoffs. they falter to somebody, whether it's Greenville or Elizabethton. I mean, I don't know.
So let's get this out of the way.
I can't see in the future. Here's what I will say.
Okay.
If AC's going to go to Cookeville, they're going to have to probably beat Greenville and Elizabeth.
Both. At their place.
At whose place?
At AC.
At AC. So they got to win both those games. It's just like we've said about Loudon. Is Loudon for real or not? They've got to beat Alcoa if they're for real. You know, you don't give state championship trophies out for going 9-1 or 10-0 in the regular season.
I agree.
You play all 14 ball games, and then they give a go football out. So
I agree.
I'm gonna be like the coach from Greenback, but it's not. If AC wants to win it, they need to beat those teams. That's as simple as you don't have to be a smart man to figure that out.
So do you think that's why the change possibly happened?
I don't know.
I don't either.
There's only the coach can tell you that. I would think maybe that changes, and I'm only guessing, okay? And just put your coach's hat on for a minute. You know, sometimes you set your player down to try to get his attention.
Good, healthy competition.
It's good, healthy competition. You know, it's not like you take a senior quarterback out that started now for 2 years in a row and you put him on the pine. You probably put him on the pine to wake him up a little bit, knowing that might be the guy you want to ride the horse for you the rest of the year all the way through. But I don't know. I don't know the sophomore kid. I've never seen him play. I have seen Stone Hatmaker play a few times. So putting the coach's hat on, I think, hey, this is a wake-up call. You know, you come back and come on the field Monday afternoon to practice, and you go after it and earn what's yours. In that same situation, look at South Carolina. Kid at quarterback South Carolina, he's sitting on the pine this year.
Yep.
Kid transferred in from Colorado State. Something about that don't seem right because the offensive coordinator was the head coach of Colorado State last year. But anyway, I don't know. Only Coach Gillum can tell us that. What the reason, and I'm sure they're trying to get his attention a little bit.
They're better than Greenville.
Who is?
AC.
Yeah, you know, I might agree
right
with you
now,
on
I
that.
think
Just from what we see here on Friday night, Greenville's struggling a little bit. But also, you know, Coach Green said this tonight. I think he said this pretty well. These teams didn't get any practice, any scrimmages, any 7-on-7s, or nothing.
That's right.
And the teams that are so-so are behind right now. Teams that are good, they were going to be good anyway.
Yep.
So I don't know, is Greenville behind the 8 ball? Because, well, right off the year, they had to cancel a couple games. So I don't know.
New coach.
A new coach. Yeah, he didn't start out very well, that's for sure. But, you know, I don't know. So,
is that game at Clinton or at Oak Ridge?
It's Clinton.
You gonna go?
It's a TV game. I don't know. I might do radio with Jim Harris. I ain't for sure. I don't know. I've not been.
You think Sleepy and John Miller would have called and invited us down there to their little hangout?
Yeah. I don't think they have it no more.
What happened?
I think they sold their house.
Oh, did they?
I think so. Yeah.
They should have got some a deed or something.
I think the game's at Clinton. I think that's our game of the week next week here at Channel 12. It's Clinton Oak Ridge.
I can't believe they ain't bringing you out of retirement to do that game.
Huh?
I can't believe they're not bringing you out of retirement to do that game.
They got a good crew doing them games.
You and Scott Burton.
I did.
Jim McBride will be your sideline reporter.
Jim McBride's going to carry the chains, maybe. I did the Oak Ridge Clinton game last year on radio.
Okay.
With Jim.
That's
I might do it again. He's not got a partner. I just have to call him and see if he wants me to do it.
I'm off next Friday night, and I'm excited about it.
No Fulton, right?
No Fulton.
All right, then.
And then we come back and I get to watch Maryville and Carson Jones play. I'm excited about watching him play football. So another good week's in the books.
Well, week 5's there. I don't know how we made it. Like Jesse said tonight, you know, some schools are out right now, and I did my preaching thing again tonight. Folks, keep the mask on, try to social distance the best you can so we can finish this high school season. And, you know, let's just not say high school, you know, I guess basketball's next up. And to see what happens with basketball, who knows right now? I mean, I don't have any idea whether we'll play basketball or not. I've heard different folks.
I made a comment, if we play a state championship in football, I think we'll play a state championship in basketball.
I've heard that I've heard different scenarios that there might not be no fans for high school basketball because it's indoors. Some of these smaller schools got small gyms. So, I mean, I don't really know. So, if I did, there'd be a lot of people calling me, wanting to know. My phone's not ringing too much. Final comments? Better change your mind if you're taking Powell tomorrow night.
Go Vols.
Go Vols. I'm with you on that. We'll see you right back here next Friday night on the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard. Maybe Cox can be on time next week. Catch us next week. Hey, and also
AC to cover.
AC to cover. Get your tickets ready. Hey, next week also, you volunteer people, you Vol fans, expect to hear from a few of you next week. We'll do a little late night college football next Friday night about this time. See if we got any entrants. How many wins is the Vols going to get? We'll see you next Friday night here on the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard. So long.
You pick Clay.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you
welcome tonight to DJ Britton Field for tonight's matchup between the Oliver Springs Bobcats and the Greenback Cherokees in your OEB Law Game of the Week. I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by the coach James Gibson. Again, we'd like to welcome in OEB Law as our title sponsor for all games this season long. OEB Law is an East Tennessee-based law firm with a national practice. OEB is led by Timothy G. Elrod, and Elrod is from and still calls Anderson County his home. OEB's practiced in state, federal, and city courts. At OEB, they treat their clients like family and are proud to have earned a reputation as East Tennessee's premier personal injury law office. And that's why they've been voted Best of Knoxville for the past 3 years. For more information, call 865-546-1111 or go to recintoacheck.com. Again, I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by Coach James Gibson. We are at Oliver Springs at the high school here. The Greenback Cherokees are in town. And guess what? We're about halfway through this football season.
Yeah, the season's really flying by, but it's been a good one so far, and the best is yet to come.
I agree. This should be a great game tonight. Two talented but winless teams take the field tonight. Now, I say winless. Greenback has one win, but they didn't actually have to earn it. It was given to them via a COVID-19 forfeit from Sunbright. But, don't count either of these teams out. And, there's probably some drama that we need to discuss regarding tonight's game.
Yeah, sometimes little rivalries brew in big games, so this should be an exciting one. Greenback and Oliver Springs have had some history as of late, and I believe they've had some locker room chat that you're going to talk about next, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. So you're a coach. One of the cliche-ic things that I've heard coaches say is, don't read the press clippings. Don't read the press clippings. I'll ask you later if that applies here. So this is the OEB Law Game of the Week. Greenback has made the trip to Oliver Springs High School for this one. We'll talk about games around the area when we get back. This is your OEB Law Game of the Week.
Football is back. And OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring a full and fair settlement. Call OEB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
You won this year's chili cook-off. Our girls played in the softball finals last spring. You're not just another policyholder to us. We remember your name. Hi, Cheryl.
He remembered my name.
Because it's your name. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Jeff, Mary, Dan, Sarah.
Evans Mortuary.
Back at our OEB Law Game of the Week, I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by Coach James Gibson. Going to talk about some games in the area. So many great teams in all classifications of East Tennessee. One of those teams is Anderson County, which is now 2-2 on the year after losing to two great 5A schools in this crazy year of football. What do you take away from the record? The fact that AC played close games in the losses to Powell and South Doyle, or do you look at how Powell and South Doyle had to go down to the wire with the smaller AC?
I'm taking away that AC was almost able to pull off a couple of upsets over larger programs, okay? You're talking a lot larger enrollments, which means a lot larger group of people that the coaches can choose from, okay? So, I'm taking a bold prediction right now, and I'm going to go ahead and say that Anderson County does not lose another regular season game in 2020.
Well,
they're going to win out.
Well, they'll look to put wins ahead on the record tonight against Howard. Meanwhile, South Doyle has a tough showdown at home against Sevier County. You know, Powell and Central both had to drop games because of COVID-19 this week. Powell and Central, two powerhouses. And so they did the natural thing, and they picked each other up. And they'll play Saturday at 7:30. Tickets went on sale yesterday and sold out within an hour. COVID has been a stain on the year of our Lord 2020. But this is a nice consolation gift. Who you got in this one?
This is a big, big game. And in my opinion, the biggest game in East Tennessee tonight. You can't understate how big this game really is. I'm going to go with Central 24 to Powell's 21.
I'm not even going to make a prediction because I'm afraid that I'm going to look stupid. So switching gears a little bit, let's talk about last night. West hosted Oak Ridge for Rivalry Thursday. What'd you see out of that one?
West defense is for real, okay? As they posted 3 shutouts so far in 2020, their defensive backs are flying around everywhere, and they picked off Oak Ridge quarterback Gibbons twice. They're the real deal. Defensively, Knoxville West is loaded with talent. Several pretty 3- and 4-star prospects sitting on that defense.
So you see some scores from last night as Knox West did get the win over Oak Ridge 22-7. And then also last night, Midway played Wartburg, and the Green Wave rolled over the Bulldogs 45-11. So we got a lot more great things to talk about in this area when we get back. But first, let's go ahead and take a break. You're tuned in to your OEB Law Game of the Week on Channel 12.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
Hi, I'm Ray Varner, and we've got the vehicles you need to make the most of this season.
Whether you're exploring the great outdoors or cheering on your favorite team, let's take your fall to the next level in this new 2020 Ford F-150, $24,990. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $40,986. New 2020 Ford Fusion, $19,698. At Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, we are Ford Truck Country. Come and see us today. Shop RayVarnerFord.com.
Back into your BBB TV Channel 12 Game of the Week, brought to you by OEB Law. At DJ Britton Field, I'm Aaron Harvey with the coach James Gibson. And if you're streaming this game on Facebook and you want to watch it on television, well, if you're a Comcast subscriber in the Morgan, Roane, or Anderson County area, good news, it's on your TV. If you are not on Facebook but you want to stream this game, good luck. You can do it on YouTube. So there you go. If you are a cord cutter, well, we got something for you too. Download the Boxcast app on your Roku or Apple TV or your Fire TV stick and search up there, BBB TV Channel 12, and you can watch the games there as well. So a lot of ways to help you watch some high school football if the stadium of your choice is sold to capacity already. So let's move on here. Kingston, Coach James Gibson, has an opportunity to start the season 4-0 for the first time since 2015. And in that year, Coach Pankey's squad ended up with an 8-3 record. Tonight, they make the trip to Sevier County to take on Northview Academy. We've seen Kingston twice already. What do you think is driving the success of this Yellow Jackets team?
Their offense is potent, Aaron. They dominate time of possession and have enough playmakers on the edge to get big yards and big chunks. So Kingston looks good, and I look for that to continue at Northview. So this is a different ball team, and I'm really impressed with what Kingston has achieved so far.
We really like it when local teams do well, no matter who that team is, and we will root for local teams always. And we got to talk about this one. Oakdale got the 30-22 win over Wartburg last week to move to 3-1 on the season. Some notes about that: Oakdale was 1-9 just last season. The Eagles were shut out 47-0 against Wartburg last season. If you combine the 2017, 18, and 19 seasons, you're only going to find 4 wins total. How about that job that Coach J.R. Voiles has done in the southernmost school of Morgan County?
Well, I tell you, Aaron, we get caught up too much with the job that some of these larger school coaches do, winning state championships and so on and so forth. But Coach Voiles over at Oakdale needs some light shined on his progress over there. He's a good coach. He has done more at Oakdale than anyone else, I guarantee that. It's a very hard coaching job over there, and it's a constant struggle to field enough players to even have a team. So he needs some acknowledgement for the job that he has done over at Oakdale.
The challenge is grand for Oakdale tonight, however, as the Eagles travel to Coalfield to take on the orange and black Yellow Jackets. So some other games of interest tonight. We'll take a look at those, pull those up on your screen to let you know what else is going on tonight. So Howard at Anderson County, which we mentioned, and then Oakdale at Coalfield. Rockwood is at Meigs County. Meigs County, of course, last year's AA state runner-up. Coach John Webb's got a big challenge tonight down there in the county just south of Roan. And Greenback, of course, at Oliver Springs, that's our game. And then Harriman at Sunbright. Sunbright got back from COVID-19. They played on Saturday last week against Coalfield. And then Clinton versus Powell. And we talked, that was originally scheduled, but because of COVID-19, that got canceled. So now Central and Powell will play. So some pretty good games tonight.
Really is, and I'm excited about that Meigs County Rockwood game. Rockwood's playing some pretty good football right now. John Webb has that team fired up and moving in the right direction. So, there could be an upset down there.
Well, it will also depend on the health of that team because we got to see them last week, and they didn't finish the game with everyone they started with. So we don't know how Dryston Turner, how bad his injury was, or how bad Jaden Hannibal's injury was. So it'll depend on that. Now, let's take a quick look at the season standings from the regions in our area. You look at Region 2 in Single A, Coalfield 3-0 on the year. That Yellow Jacket team, Coach Keith Henry has them where he normally has them this time of year. Midway is 3-1 overall, and that one loss was to Rockwood. Midway is having a great season so far. Greenback has the region win due to COVID. And then you look at Oliver Springs. They haven't played a region game. This will be their first one. They're 0-4 overall. That's going to change. They're going to get some wins down the stretch. Oakdale, however, has only played one region game, and they're 3-1 on the year. So Oakdale's looking so good this year. And then, of course, Harriman and Sunbright rounding out the bottom of that list. And then in the Region 2 AA standings, Meigs County on top of the world like everybody knew they would be. Oneida is 3-0. Oneida actually beat this Greenback team that we will see tonight 21-7. We've seen Rockwood twice. They're 2-2 on the year. Cumberland Gap, they're 2-2 on the year. And then Wartburg right there at the bottom, winless at 0-4. See, the thing about this Region 2 is there's only 5 teams, which means only one of them is going to get left out of the playoff picture. So right now, if you're Cumberland Gap or Wartburg, you've got to get a win.
You do. No more losses, especially if you're Wartburg. You got to get this turned around in a hurry if your expectation is to make the playoffs.
And moving forward, Region 2 in AAA, Alcoa, of course. I can't see Alcoa anymore. There it is. All right, Alcoa is 3-1 on the year. Of course, their loss coming to Maryville. And then Gatlinburg, Pittman, Kingston sitting right there, tied for third or tied for second in that region. and then Pigeon Forge, Scott, Northview, and Austin East. Now, Austin East being 0-4 and 0-2 in the region, that's surprising.
It really is, but talent comes in waves at Austin East and at Fulton, so they'll be bouncing back pretty quickly.
And now we'll look at that 4A. East Hamilton, they're first. That's going to change. I have a feeling that you're right about Anderson County. They're not going to lose again.
Pretty bold prediction, but I tell you, I like Anderson County a lot. They have played a tough schedule, and I tell you, I see them winning out.
In 5A, you've got Powell, West, Oak Ridge. Those three schools right there are very, very good. And you look at Oak Ridge, they've got that 2-3 record, but the teams they've played have been pretty good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's hard to judge how good Oak Ridge is by looking at that record right there. Just looking at that, though, that kind of looks about right.
Yeah, I mean, Powell and Knox West has several Division I athletes on their squad, and it's a difference maker. That's not quite X's and O's. You're just playing with Jimmys and Joes, and you're better than everybody else. So they're loaded this year, but it's going to be some great games moving forward in that region.
All right. So that's a look at teams around our region. And then we've got a lot to say about this game that we're going to have tonight, so we'll get to that coming out of the break. You are tuned in to the OEB Law Game of the Week on BBB-TV, Channel 12.
Football is back, and OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring a full and fair settlement. Call OEB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here is Helen Hammer. Thank you, Mr. Walker.
A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
There's something special about hearing a national anthem before a sporting event.
Always gives me goosebumps.
It does me too. So we're back on the OEB Law Game of the Week at DJ Britton Field at Oliver Springs High School, Marin Harvey, with James Gibson. Again, brought to you by OEB Law. Any wreck, big or small, can turn your life upside down with bills, inconvenience, lost wages, and stress. OEB understands and knows you need a full and fair compensation for those losses, and to help you get your life back to as normal as possible, call 865-546-1111 or go to wreckintoattack.com to see what OEB Law can do for you. So, Let's take a good look at this game. As you see, some information about the Greenback Cherokees. Now, coming into this game this week, I was like, okay, so it's Greenback and it's Oliver Springs. You know, they're fighting for wins. They're having trouble getting that success going early in the season. It's understandable. And then, you know, I thought we were going to have a good game. And then we got some information. And we'll go over that in just a little bit. So, yeah, the road to get to Game 5 for Oliver Springs has been tough. Larry Green's team was affected by a COVID cancellation, so they picked up 6A William Blunt on the Wednesday before the game was played. Then the Bobcats met an angry and focused Rockwood team and dropped a 35-8 decision on television. Well, then this team played the 3A Northview Academy and led the entire game before giving up a late score and losing in double overtime in a game that had nearly an hour delay toward the end of it because of a power outage. Oh, and did I mention they played 2A Oneida to start the season and played the undefeated Indians tough, falling just 14-6? Yeah, Greenback, last year's state runner-up, is the first single-A team Oz has played. So there has been no yellow brick road here.
No, I'm telling you, Aaron, Oliver Springs has played the toughest schedule in single A all across the state of Tennessee. I mean, you could probably pull that up and see what kind of strength of schedule you could pull, but I don't think anybody else in single A has played that type of schedule. So it's been pretty brutal for Oliver Springs.
So, and flip the coin here. Look at Greenback. You see the graphic on your screen there. Coach Ryan has not lost to a Region 2 team since becoming the head coach. That's strong right there. And so neither of these teams are happy with where they are at this point in the season. And this is the worst start through 4 games for Greenback since 2006. And that's a season where the final record was 1-9. The Cherokees are 1-3 with a lone win coming in a COVID-19 forfeit against Sunbright, which we told you about earlier. Last week, Coach Greg Ryan's team lost to Oneida 21-7, snapping a 5-game winning streak against the Indians. Now, to be fair, Greenback played Loudon to open the season, which is 4-0, and has a 32.5 average margin of victory so far. And Meigs County, another unbeaten team, which finished as the Class 2A runner-up last year. So both of these teams have had a really rough road so far. Is it too early to know what either Greenback or Oliver Springs really has?
Well, I know this. Greenback is in a position they aren't used to. Greenback fans aren't happy about it. You see it trending on social media, and you hear rumblings, and they're focused on this Oliver Springs team who is sitting at 0-4. They're looking at getting their first physical win of the season. So don't let the record fool you. Greenback is going to be all over Oliver Springs, and Oliver Springs will give Greenback their best effort tonight.
Both of these teams replaced major contributors from last year. For Oliver Springs, Trey Boswell is no longer the workhorse at running back, and Blake Crace is no longer handing him the ball. For Greenback, Braden Carnes is no longer tossing the rock around, and Holden Willis isn't making plays from the wide receiver position. Greenback, they've now got a roster that's nearly 50% freshmen, including the young quarterback, Brennan Dugan, who started the first 3 games of the season. On one hand, it's not a surprise these teams have struggled to get a win, but on another hand, these two have been through a gauntlet.
Gauntlet, underline, bold it. It's been a tough early part of the schedule for both teams, but they both can bounce back in the second half of the schedule. So I expect both of them to bounce out and get some wins here pretty quickly.
An interesting note about these two teams, you see the graphic on your screen. They've played each other twice the past 3 seasons, once in the regular season, once in the playoffs. Greenback has won each time, and the margin of victory has only been within 2 scores one time, a 28-18 regular season matchup in 2018. And Cherokee coach Greg Ryan isn't shying away from talking about it publicly. As you see the quote on your screen, quote, "It can't be a rivalry until they beat us." And then he continues to say, "They're just another team on our schedule. We beat them 88-0 last year in both games. We will continue to beat Oliver Springs like we're accustomed to." And said that to a local newspaper for them to print. And Ryan also added this, which I thought was pretty interesting. He said that Coach Green had told him he thought OS was getting closer to where Greenback is last year. To which he says, "My thoughts were we beat them 88-0 last year in a combination of 2 games. You don't normally get this kind of, as Canadians call it, chirping at the high school level." How does that quote make you feel as a coach and former player?
Well, it's pretty brash, isn't it? You know, one thing about Coach Greg Ryan is he is a winner. He has won. He won as a player. He won a state championship over there as a player. He's won one as a coach. And like you said, you've seen the stats up there on the screen. But to be honest, I don't like it. Greenback has won a lot of ball games and gloating over 2 wins over Oliver Springs tells me it's more of a rivalry than Coach Ryan really wants to admit. You don't hear Nick Saban commenting on Vanderbilt pregame speeches, do you? No. So, it's a little more heartfelt if he's commenting on it than what we know.
Yeah, and I don't think it's fair to compare Oliver Springs to Vanderbilt in your scenario, but comparing Greenback to Alabama, that's a very fair comparison because Coach Ryan, like we said, hasn't lost a Region 2 game since he became the head coach of this Greenback club. So if you had to put an SEC comparison to Oliver Springs, they've struggled a little bit of late, but they've had some strong years the last couple of years. I don't know. Maybe Oliver Springs is like a Tennessee type.
Yeah. But when you make a comment like that, 88-0 the last 2 times, you're basically calling them the weaker of the region. So pretty big comment there.
We've got the coin toss going out on the field. Oliver Springs has won that coin toss, and Oliver Springs will receive the football to start the game. We talked about this last week, how most people defer. Every now and then, you'll get a team that wins the toss, and they say, hey, give us the football. What do you think the thinking is for Coach Larry Green?
I think he's trying to get something moving for his team. He's faced a lot of big squads, as you stated in pregame, and this is his first real opportunity to really be in this thing. And a lot of bad blood going on the last few years, and he's looking to take it to him.
And you'll see on your screen there right to the left, the guy in the purple jacket and the shorts. That is Coach Larry Green. Had a lot of success here with the middle school program at Oliver Springs before getting that promotion to take on the high school, and struggled the first couple of years he was there, but had a really nice-looking season last year. And I know expectations were pretty high for this Bobcat team coming in, but then you get the coronavirus, and you don't get preseason scrimmaging, and you have to substitute opponents, and it's not been an easy road for Oliver Springs. And I think for Coach Green and some of these Oliver Springs fans, you're hoping that difficult schedule has prepared you for a game like this, because let's be real, Greenback is a region opponent, but again, they were a state runner-up just last season. So for Oliver Springs, this is another really, really tough ball game to add to the list of tough ball games they've already had.
It really is. I mean, Greenback is one of the better high school programs in East Tennessee. Let's just be honest. I spent a lot of time over there when I was coaching college football, recruiting players, and lucky enough, pull out a couple really good ball players out of Greenback. So let me tell you, they're very talented over there. Football means a lot. It's a culture thing. And those kids grow up out there throwing hay, working in the hay fields, and it's a certain class of people, and they're blue collar and they're really good. And it means a lot to them over there.
As we get prepared for our Davis Funeral Home kickoff, Davis Funeral Home with 2 locations in Wartburg and Harriman. You see the numbers on your screen, and go to davisfuneralhomes.com for more information. Set to kick it deep for Greenback to start this football game is Lucas Holmes. Back deep to receive for Oliver Springs is Gavin Hill and Tyler Bridges. And there's the kick. It's a really nice kickoff. Goes to Bridges, catches it at the 14-yard line, cuts it up middle, looking for some blockers, finds some room, gets up to the 34, maybe the 35. Great return, and that is where Oliver Springs will take over with a Hammers 1st and 10 to begin this football game.
Starting out with some pretty good field position for Oliver Springs, so let's see if they take advantage of it.
And there's the kick.
As we see on our Chuck Fleischman replay, caught that ball around the 14-yard line. Found some blockers in middle of the field. And they do start at the 34-yard line. So for Oliver Springs at quarterback, it's Zach Elliott, the junior. Sends a man in motion. Doesn't hand off. Instead goes to his tailback with a lot of running room going up the left side. That's Brandon Nation. Nation leading this team in rushing yards. We'll see Nation and Heilman get the bulk of the carries tonight.
Ashton Orr from Greenback in on the tackle. Very talented 10th grader, 6'1", 201 pounds.
And it was a really nice tackle. 5-yard pickup brings up a 2nd and 5 for Oz. Elliott, 2 backs in the backfield with him. Sends a man in motion again. And this time it's Gavin Hill that gets the carry. And Hill gets the ball up close to the first down marker. He's going to be a yard shy, however, will bring up 3rd and 1.
You see on the replay, Greenback is sending 2 blitzers off the edge in a fast and hurry way. So Oliver Springs is trying to take advantage of that, running up in the middle there. Greenback coming out with 3 defensive linemen, 3-man front, roving around those linebackers.
And Oliver Springs has a big offensive line. And this time, a power I formation. Hard count. Here's the snap, handoff. And met at the line and dropped is Gavin Hill. Now on the tackle, was Braden Matoy. And so Oliver Springs will send the punt unit out.
Really big defensive stand for Greenback. Really secure tackles. They stay low. They're not arm tackling. 3-man front, and was able to beat a very tight formation for Oliver Springs.
A good, secure,
really good punt.
Goes high up into the air, and it is caught by Micah Franklin, who will come out and make his first start at quarterback for Greenback this season. So Greenback had been going with the freshman Dugan, but to try to change things up, they're going to bring Micah Franklin, who was a transfer from William Blount, and they're just trying to provide a spark for this football team, and sometimes changing quarterbacks can do that.
Yeah, it really can. You just get a little different niche, somebody in the huddle, and it really can spark an offense.
Blake Fields is in the backfield. And a quarterback keeper for Franklin on the first play. Not much there.
Really good tackle there by Hunter Adkins. Little linebacker, senior, 5'9", 180. Made a really good secure tackle. Oliver Springs coming out in the 3-man front. Looks like a 3-4 look. More of a 3-3 stack look.
And this time, Greenback comes out 5 wide, so see what Franklin can do here. Drops back, 3-step drop, lets it go, and that pass is caught by Greenback's Cooper Williams, and that was intended for Blake Fields, but it went through Fields' hands.
Really good heads-up play by Cooper Williams, a 9th grader, 5'9", 137. That's a heads-up play to keep your eyes off of the tip ball like that. That's pretty difficult, and that's a drill that you work on a lot. So that's pretty heads-up.
And Fields is a very talented player for this Greenback team. You'll see him run the football or also line up outside and try to catch it, so they'll go his direction a lot tonight. Franklin with Fields in the backfield. Fakes the handoff. He's going to keep it going off right tackle. Gets across the 40. Should be enough for a first down. And I'd say, given the talent that Franklin has with his legs and with the ball in his hand, you'll probably see a lot of quarterback keepers tonight.
Yeah, because he can really pick up some tough yards with his speed.
So that brings up a Hammers 1st and 10. And met in the backfield. That was Jacob Jones breaking in there and making that tackle in the backfield. No chance there.
Big play. Came in there and made a good smack on the running back.
And you saw on that play, actually Dugan took the snap. So they brought him into the game, and he handed off to Micah Franklin. So might see some misdirection that way for Greenback, but now Franklin's back in there. and he will hand off to Fields. Fields is tackled.
Brandon Nation, great play by the linebacker. He read it the whole way. Senior, 5'9", 188. He came down and laid the wood to the Greenback running back.
And the Oliver Springs defense has to be pumped up about this. Let's look at the Chuck Fleischman replay. Fields just nowhere to go, and that is a hat to a hat. That is a straight pancake tackle. So here's Franklin at quarterback. He's going to have to drop back to pass and sets up the screenplay to Fields. And Fields has some running room around the right side, but he stopped short of midfield, and so Greenback will be a couple yards shy of the first down.
Great open field running there. He's definitely got that field vision that we talk about. As you've seen, turn on the speed here as Brandon Nation for Oliver Springs comes close. He jukes him out and takes off around the edge. You might have missed a little holding call there on number 4 of Oliver Springs with 51. But great run, great pickup.
And Brandon Nation flew to the football, just missed it a little bit, missed his angle. And Greenback is going to go for it here. No punting for them unless there's a hard count. There's not. Franklin takes it. It's going to keep it, and he's stopped. This will be Oliver Springs football. The Bobcats will be set up at midfield with a Hammers 1st and 10.
Big play. Way to make a defensive stand with the big guys up front. A lot of movement. That was a great overall defensive series for the Oliver Springs Bobcats. As you see on the replay here, they won the battle in the trenches and got upfield, and there was nowhere to go.
Great field position to start this drive for Oliver Springs, who went 3 and out just a moment ago.
But it is going to be hard to move the ball on this Greenback defense.
Zach Elliott sends a man in motion. Oh. And Elliott keeps it going around the left side, but there's going to be a flag on the play because 2 men were in motion at the same time on that play. A little confusion.
Yeah, if you're Oliver Springs, you cannot beat yourself. You have to limit your mistakes. Take advantage of the Greenback mistakes.
And there it is. That's a 5-yard penalty. We'll back the Bobcats back into their own territory. Ball spotted at the 45, and we will replay a Hammers 1st down. Now, I don't know if they can keep the energy up, but right now, Oliver Springs looks like they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. They've got a little extra something right now. Man in motion again, this time Bridges. And you got another flag on the play.
Yeah, you can't have it. Your emotions are running strong right now after that really good defensive series. And you're making too many mistakes. You can't shoot yourself in the feet and beat a good team.
Yeah, you lose 10 yards before you even take your first offensive snap of the possession.
You got to look at your quarterback to really have some composure and get your guys calmed down. Look them in the face. Tell them it's going to be all right.
Yeah, on this Hammers 1st and 20, Coach Larry Green wants to beat himself over the head with a hammer.
You ain't kidding. 1st and forever. And those defensive backs for Greenback are licking their chops right now because they're going to be anticipating some kind of run play.
And we got another stop and play. And it's a timeout, Bobcats. So after 2 penalties in which the Bobcats lost 10 yards, Coach Larry Green wants to take a timeout. Although they're going to talk about this for a second because I think the Oliver Springs coaches were concerned that maybe the play clock didn't reset. So you see Coach Larry Green out there on the field. I don't think he wanted to take a timeout there, but he wanted to avoid a delay of game penalty. Okay, so Oliver Springs is going to get the timeout. 4:55 left to play in the first quarter. Our score is tied at 0.
Football is back. And OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OAB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring a full and fair settlement. Call OAB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
Your OAB Law game of the week, 4:55 left to go in the first quarter. Speaking of OAB Law, we've got with us Sarah Boer. Sarah Boer.
Absolutely.
Of OAB Law, here representing the great East Tennessee law firm that does nationwide cases. How much fun are you having here tonight playing the role of Tim Elrod?
I'm having a great time, and thanks for having me. We're having the best time so far. It's a good game. It's a beautiful night. You can't ask for much more.
Yeah, a hard-hitting football game, and we've got another flag on the play. You see, when Tim comes and does an interview with us, one of the teams score. When you come and do an interview with us, we just get a bunch of penalties. So, and like, that's not your fault. You can't help it. But I just want to let you know that that's the situation. As Oliver Springs is backed up 5 more yards from a false start penalty, it will now be another Hammers 1st and 25, and Coach Larry Green wants to know where that hammer is. By the way, if someone is injured by a hammer, can OEB Law help them?
Well, probably so. If it was negligence, then we're here to help.
All right. So Oliver Springs picks up 4, but they'll need a lot more than that. It'll be 2nd and 21. So how long have you been with OEB?
I started with OEB in August of 2015, so I've been there just over 5 years now.
Just over 5 years. So what has been your experience there?
It's awesome. I couldn't ask for a better firm. I think it was probably just a match made in heaven that I did not anticipate at all. I can't think of a firm in Knoxville that is more community-minded and more oriented towards the individuals that we're representing than any other firm in the county.
Lawyers get a really bad rap, but really you help a lot of people. Has there been like a special situation that has made you jump in and say, man, I really love my job, like made somebody smile?
Well, I don't know if you mean professionally or personally, but I know one thing I love about our firm is I can go to Tim and I can ask him for money for anything in the community, and I don't think he's ever turned me down, any clients down, or any general people in the community that just need some kind of assistance, whether it's sponsorships or trying to get through a legal issue.
And that's another really important thing that OEB Law does. They're helping us bring this broadcast on the air by being a title sponsor for us, but also any event that comes in town, you're probably going to see OEB Law as a part of it and trying to give money to it so that people can take in quality entertainment. And breaking free for Oliver Springs, getting up the field but not making the original line of scrimmage is Brandon Nation. Nation made his first man miss in the backfield on that screenplay and picked up some pretty good yardage, but not going to be enough, so Oliver Springs is going to have to send in the punt unit. And come to this game, Rivalry Thursday, which was last night. You got a $1,000 check with you, and you're going to give that to a school, and that's every single week of the regular season.
Hey, we love to spend money.
For good things.
Yep, and I'm here to help him spend his money, so it's not even mine, so y'all can have all you want.
Well, I'm sure Oliver Springs is going to appreciate that $1,000 that they're going to get, and I know West appreciated getting some money last night as well.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure.
All right, so Sarah? We want to make sure that we get that H on the end, you said.
Absolutely.
But see, you pronounce the H in your first name, but not the one in your second name. Is that right?
That is absolutely correct.
That's
You're probably the first
it?
person to ever notice that.
That's really interesting. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and let everybody at OEB Law know how much we appreciate them.
Thank you so much for having me tonight. You guys have a great night.
You too. So that's Sarah Boer of OEB Law. And we're so thankful to have them on board with us as Greenback has taken over with the Hammers 1st and 10. And immediately, Franklin gets it up to Berger. Now, Austin Berger is a playmaker for this Greenback team, and that's the first time we've been able to say his name as Franklin gets it out to him and Greenback moves the sticks again. Go ahead.
Yeah, you see here on the replay, he is a really good looking ball player. He really can get up the field and make some plays. I really like some of the stuff that they use him out of.
Congressman Chuck Fleischman liked that play. Here's Franklin, fakes the handoff to Fields, rolls to his left, and a pass is complete. This one goes to Dugan. So the freshman who played quarterback to start the first 3 games is in there playing skill positions this week.
Yeah, and this guy can really fly. He's very athletic. He's got some really good agility. He's only 5'9", 140, but I tell you, he can fly.
So Greenback on the move. This is their second. Hammers first and 10 on as many plays. Franklin this time will hand off to Fields, and Fields bounces off a couple tacklers, still on his feet, but brought down behind the line of scrimmage, and Greenback is having a very difficult time running the football tonight.
They really are, but Oliver Springs' defensive line needs some credit in that. They are really doing a good job of holding their own, and the linebackers for Oliver Springs are really flying. They are sending them on many different blitzes out of many different packages, so keep looking for that.
Speaking of holding, it looked like Sam Lawson of this Greenback line got away with one on that Chuck Fleischman replay. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Ball spotted at the Oliver Springs 48-yard line. Franklin in the backfield with Fields.
Look for a rollout.
Tight set on the left, and it's a quick pitch out to Fields, and Fields is gobbled up and dropped.
I tell you what, Brandon Nation is having a heck of a ball game defensively for Oliver Springs. We've seen him miss 1 tackle so far. This guy is in on every play on the field, and I'm really excited to watch him play.
And Nation, one of the leading tacklers on this Oliver Springs team, and you can see why. He flies to the football.
He really does. He plays downhill. He doesn't lose a lot of ground in his pursuit, so he's a really good-looking little linebacker.
That play resulted in a negative 4-yard gain, so 3rd and 14 now. Franklin steps up in the pocket. There's a flag on the play, lets it go. That pass is off the fingertips of Berger, incomplete, but there is a flag on the right side of the backfield there, maybe 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage as we see it there. And we get the call. All right, so we got an illegal procedure on Greenback.
If you see on the replay, Greenback's trying to identify something in the middle of the field here. The linebackers for Oliver Springs are staying kind of shallow, and if you see there, they've had 2 wide receivers kind of open in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
So the coaches from the press box are seeing something that they like in the defensive backfield.
So that penalty is declined, which will bring up 4th and 14, and Greenback will have to punt.
And let's see if this punt returner catches the ball in the air.
Well, Blake Fields is a very good punter. We saw him in warm-ups, and that is a nice, tight spiral. And it takes a bounce at the 4, bounces at the 1, and almost is kept from going into the end zone. However, it is a touchback, and Oliver Springs will take over at their own 21-yard line, or 20-yard line rather, as we have just 49.7 seconds left to go in this first quarter. 2 names in Oliver Springs you can trust, Harvey's Furniture and Jameson Bedding. Jameson has been in the bedding business since 1883, and Harvey's Furniture has served this community since 1948. Harvey's Furniture has all sizes of bedding in stock, so be sure to try out that amazing latex foam rubber beds. And when it comes to bedding, you can trust Jameson Bedding and Harvey's Furniture in downtown Oliver Springs. So Hammers 1st and 10. Getting the handoff here is Brandon Nation. Man, they are excited.
It's really good football right here tonight. And I tell you, with everything that we talked about in the pregame, Oliver Springs is fired up, and you've seen that tonight. They look way better than they did against Rockwood, and they're fired up. And we said that Greenback would get Oliver Springs' best tonight, and they have so far. This is a good game. This is why I don't like all the talking before games. Let's get out there on the field and let that settle it.
So the play clock is greater than the actual game clock, and Oliver Springs is content to let that run out. So after the first quarter, we have a scoreless game here at DJ Britton Field. Nothing, as Oliver Springs is holding their own against this Greenback Cherokees team. We'll have the second quarter when we get back. This is your OEB Law Game of the Week.
For Football is back. And OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring a full and fair settlement. Call OEB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the Hot Water Wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
Evans Mortuary has been served.
Back at your OEB Law game of the week, Oliver Springs with the football at the Bobcat 20-yard line in this gridlock against Greenback. Quick impressions so far, Coach James Gibson, of this one.
Really good football so far tonight. You've had some really good play in the trenches so far and really good linebacker play. Decent tackling so far and a lot of emotion out of both squads. So keep watching because I think we're going to have a good one here.
And the ball is at the 22-yard line. It's 2nd and 8 as Greenback's defense comes onto the field.
And Greenback is just saying, hey, we're going to go man coverage here, best on best.
And another flag. So many penalties tonight for both teams. And then you got another false start against Oliver Springs. We'll back the Bobcats up 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 13.
You've got to get the mental mistakes fixed and in a hurry. I don't care if you have to call a huddle on the sideline and get your whole team in there. These are things that you can't control, so you got to control the controllables.
Is it the press clippings, you think?
Aaron, emotions always ride high, and for high school kids, 16-year-olds, hey, absolutely it can play a factor.
And we've got another flag on the play. This is going to be a delay of game.
You hate to see a timeout here just to, chew on some tails and get some guys, focused in a little bit. But if this continues, you're going to have a major issue.
So we had a 2nd and 8. And now we've got a 2nd and 18.
Clock's running. Got to hustle out.
Should it have started?
Yeah. As soon as he sets the ball, clock is running. So you're down to 5 on the play clock. Took a really long time. Good run. Good block.
That's right. We got a quarterback keeper up to about the 24-yard line as Elliott has a very nice looking run. Going to make up a lot of those yards and be about 3 yards shy of the first down.
And he needs to say thank you to Mr. Nation. That's a really good block. Got upfield.
Brandon Nation is very important to this Oliver Springs Bobcat football team. So they didn't give him the spot that I thought they would. So we've got a 3rd and 5 here. Oliver Springs so far has not converted a 3rd down.
Trips to the far side of the field.
Elliott is going to drop back and pass. He's under immense pressure, though, and is sacked. Getting to him and cleaning it up was Isaiah Flowers. And Oliver Springs will have to punt again.
Yeah, you just had some mental mistake there on the front. You had some guys running through that were unblocked, untouched, and you can't win football games like that. So the offensive line's going to have to get together on that sideline and get that fixed in a hurry.
But Oliver Springs is typically a running football team, but in a situation where you put yourself behind the sticks with penalties, you can't. And that punt was almost blocked, but it's a beauty, end over ender, that lands at midfield and takes an Oliver Springs bounce and marked at the 46-yard line. So that's where Greenback will take over.
You'd had a pretty hard time finding two better punters in a single-A football game than what Greenback and Oliver Springs has here tonight. Very talented kickers.
Well, and think about last night, or last week rather, with Oneida playing Greenback, and you've got Colby Morgan back there punting.
All-state Colby Morgan, very good football player, and prayers to that family as his brother had a wreck, and they're trying to get back healthy.